Let me move this a little bit. There we go. There we go. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Still a tad sleepy. All right. So, what is it, June? We're in the month of June. At the end of the month of June, the guild is opening back up. So I thought I'd give you a little run through, guys. Smooth, welcome to the show. Guild gang in the building. Good to see y'all, man. Y'all do some great work, man. I'm very proud of y'all. I'm just going to say y'all in general, because if I were to point anyone out specifically who I was not as proud of, it would be personal. So I'll just say all of you are doing great, because most all of you are doing great. Rocky, good to see you in the building. Gang, one of the pioneers. Elia made it to the show. What? There we go, man. Ain't too busy. How you doing, bro? Seymour, good to see you on the show. Top of the morning, my gentleman. Top of the morning. Rafik KL. Oh, that must be a man now born from across the pond. Good to see y'all, man. Man, so I'm listening with my eyes closed. Probably closed and my brain sleep, my meat back tired. It's alright, man. Get in here and get this good work, bro. Good work. Yeah, it's the unborn. Ethan, good to see you in the chat. Good to see you, man. Y'all actually got up this morning. Okay, shit. Alright, I ain't mad at you. But yeah, the doors to the guild are opening back up. So I wanted to address something real quick about what some of this is in physical life. I got a question the other day in the section for people to ask dumb questions. That's always the first step. You gotta ask some fucking questions. But some people don't want to ask questions. They read a book, feel really excited, and then want to make sure they start repeating the book. It's all right. We're not going to have you doing that here. Dawson, good to see you in the chat. Welcome to the show. The guild is about practical magic. The show, the guidepost, is about practical magic. People consistently want to make this work part of their everyday life. I won't say that's bad, but what I'll say is you have to examine what that means. What the fuck is your everyday life? What is spiritual? Because when it comes to spiritual, the work is more a being than it is a doing. We're used to finding something new to do, and hey, that's the thing. No. Okay. June 3rd to July 6th is Welcome Week. That's the one week where the doors will be open for anyone who would like to sign up to come on in, get started. We'll set you up. Okay? Now, mind you, you're not paying for information. I give this shit away. I give you the information. Your issue isn't a lack of information. Actually, in some senses, it's probably too much information. What you're paying for is guidance. This is the program. Is the opportunity to grapple with the idea. See, when you never ask any questions, you read and just tell yourself that you understand. The circle jerk, your spiritual circle jerk tells you understand. And it could be just two people in the circle jerk. Just you and your buddy in a room by yourself, feeling like you're better than everyone else around you because you're not Christian anymore. You gotta grapple with this information. You can't just repeat it out of a book. I know. A lot of the people you listen to, they just read you a book like a bedtime story, and you feel, oh God, I'm getting it. I was watching one live stream, bro. Dude was reading a book, and the motherfuckers in the chat was just, and once again, babies will be babies. I'm not trying to insult them. Analysis. If I was trying to insult them, no. analysis, okay? There was no... It was called a book study, but it was just reading the book. Like, you ever go to Bible study? They'll pick a verse and spend the time dissecting the verse, not just reading the Bible. Like, you could have done that at home. But I get it. Some people don't have the time to read, so, you call an audiobook a book study. People feel, okay, we're studying because we're reading. That's not the case. That's not the case. But I'm really getting, the depth of the school trauma. I didn't necessarily understand it because I didn't have difficulty in school. I'm not saying that to haha, look at me, I'm better than you. Like, I have difficulty in other places. Like, since I was little, I like to learn. I like to research things. I loved research papers. Research papers were fun. I'm a nerd. I'm a loser, right? But I want to go into some of the practical stuff, some of the stuff that we talk about in the guild, and bring it to the front. Because once again, you're not paying for information. If I was going to have you pay for information, I'd just give you a folder of videos and tell you, haha, here's the secrets. There's no secrets. There's no secrets. The only thing that stands between you and the comprehension of these things is your own ignorance. And if you're not willing to contend with your own ignorance, or even the possibility that you could be ignorant, you're not going to get it. No, it's just not because I'm saying it. I'm cool guy, right? No, not at all. Not at all. You're not going to get it because it's made that way. It's made for you to have to grapple and contend with it. So, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take another 45 seconds of your time, and then we're going to jump into this. All right, y'all. Let's get to it. See, most of y'all don't get past this little part. And then you find my channel. Don't ask the questions, just start trying to insult me because it hurts you. I get it, guys. You can try though. Here, I got some help for you. I'm coming. Daddy's home, kitty. Daddy's home. Oh, man. I say it could all be so simple. Like, when I say it could all be so simple, this is why it's simple, okay? This is why the distractions have to be so large and consistent. Because it's right there. The end of your nose. No, not the actual tip of your physical body's nose. It's the turn of phrase. The people who have trouble manifesting things. Well, how do I manifest this? Well, how are you already manifest? There's a reason I say, what is you? Because if you reduce that down to the physical meat bag, you're going to miss it every time. You're going to miss it every time. And so when you're asking me, how do I make this part of my everyday life? I'm not upset that you asked. Because you have much more courage than most anyone else in this field. Okay? Most of the motherfuckers will just sit in the shadows behind the veil of anonymity and chuck weak insults. I have to laugh at you less because that really hurts babies' feelings. They don't understand what's happening and they just assume they've done something wrong and then they're scarred for life and they blame you. Oh my god. Dawg said I want them goddamn secrets here. Oh shit. I'm telling you, man. No, motherfuckers will be surprised, man. This shit ain't secret. If you're not willing to contend with your own ignorance and really grapple with it, you're done. Like, it's not gonna work. It's easy to read a book and feel good. Like Christians did that, dude. They do it in the church. Most of them don't even read the book. They have someone read the book to them, and from the crowd, they feel good. Amen. Amen. But look, hey, look, what do I know? I'm a loser. I'm bald. How is that an insult? God. All right. Here's what I'm going to talk to you about, guys. So this is the public side of the guild. There are two sides to the guild. There's a public and a private side. The public side, anybody can see. Just sign up for a free account on the Gilded app. And I picked this app because it's going to be sticking around. They associate themselves with Roblox. Like Roblox bought these motherfuckers out. Which means they're going to have Web3 and crypto functionality pretty soon. Or at least that's what's on the grapevine. Anyways, public side of the guild right here, okay? Up in the upper left corner, you'll see that picture of a door. All right, you can stand right there at the outside of the door all you want to. Speak, ask questions. I think you even have the availability to talk to motherfuckers who's in the guild. Like you can see the color of their what you call that thing, man? The color of their there we go. The color of their name. So they got the yellow and blue. They're in the guild. If they got the orange and red, they're one of the pioneers. What are the pioneers? The pioneers are the first people who I put in the guild when I was doing the initial run through. These are the people who've been here since the beginning. To the degree to which they showed up, I haven't seen Goddess Ways in a while. She'd be on Instagram though. But yeah, if you see the purple and yellow, that's me or my wife. Period. So jump in, ask questions. I have a section here for people to ask dumb questions, and they do. Really, when they ask the questions, I don't think they're dumb. But this is what a dumb question is. A dumb question is a shot in the dark, and you have to take a shot in the dark and look dumb before you can begin to hone in on what's being said. Most people spend so much of their time avoiding that. They don't want to look dumb. And I'd rather look dumb than be dumb. And if you only invest in things to make sure you don't look dumb, you're still dumb. Hey man, jump out there, try it out. So yeah, recently, my man Dawson asked a wonderful question, bro. To be completely honest, he made an attempt to ask a question. But I mean, it's not that he didn't ask a question. It's that there were a lot of presumptions in the form of the question. But that's not bad. It's actually quite consistent with what most people do. Okay. So being inspired by answering that question, I decided today what I want to do is I want to go into what we talk about in the guild, okay? In the guild, I have the 3 A's of practical magic, okay? Once again, not secrets. The 3 A's of practical magic. Ascension, ancestors, and altars. Now, Aries, why are those the 3 A's? Okay? Ascension. Ascension is a general term for any spiritual work. We actually get into what the fuck does that mean, spiritual. You know, because I can just say pineal gland. Haha, you got it. No. Okay, no. I tried to fix it. I hope I did a good job. But I mean, look, and the reason I pointed out, and once again, this is why it's imperative to grapple with your own ignorance. Part of getting the answer you're looking for is asking the right question. Now, I learned this from research. Like doing so much research is you can change a single word in a question and it sends you down a whole different avenue. You can change some of the order of the words and it sends you down a whole different avenue. But people will rather not look at their words. They'd rather, just throw a fancy word that's beyond their own scope to impress whoever is looking at it. Come on now. Come on, kids. Come on. We can do better. All right. So ascension. Ascension is a general catch-all term for the basic spiritual work that you're going to find in any right religion or order. Okay. Next, ancestors. Ancestors are the most basic non-physical entities you can be dealing with. Okay. I know it seems cool to jump out there and I'm gonna summon the Dark Lord. Okay. Do what you do. I'm going to tell you what you can't do. I actually make a point not to tell you what you can't do. But I will point out what you're invoking. I will challenge what you're talking about. That's something I find too, man. Some of these motherfuckers I challenge, after they get past the first little prickly stage, they almost routinely say, Aries, you're the only person who's ever challenged me on any of it. Yeah, because that's the atmosphere. Anywhere else you go, it's against the rules to challenge people. And as soon as you do, they turn into baby trolls and try. Man, their insults be just so weak. Pathetic. Anyways, ancestors, okay? If you can do ancestors, and this is why I start with it. If you can do ancestors, if you can understand the principles that are involved, because the methodologies are going to change all the time. The methodologies are always going to change. What does not change is the fundamental principles. Okay, you need to understand the fundamental principles. Reading a book, listening to me or anyone else on YouTube isn't sufficient. That's enough to begin. It's enough to get you on the path. But you have to take the time to grapple with your own ignorance. Chakra oil seekers, right? Oh my God. Scientism is all over the place. You give a motherfucker a spooky sounding sciencey word, they can't wait to tell dead niggas, bro. They can't wait to put that in their chest. Because, ultimately they had no confidence. They always wanted to be a beat maker, but never made any beats. They got the spooky Instagram tag. Spooky pictures. But all they can ever do is drop hints. They don't challenge any of the shit they say. It's like a baby, man. You ever seen two babies just at each other? Like, you can't tell them motherfuckers they not talking good shit. Anyways, second A of practical magic, ancestors. If you can comprehend ancestors, and it's not difficult. It really isn't. The difficult part, and you can get this from people who are in the guild, the difficult part is contending with your own beliefs. Dealing with the shame and embarrassment of possibly having been wrong and someone sees. It could all be so simple. That's what I mean. The third A of practical magic is altars, okay? Once again, the fundamental principles never change. If you understand the fundamental principles, you can get into any methodology you want. If you understand the fundamental principles behind an altar, you can do any working tool. You can create new working tools, okay? So I want you to understand the fundamental principles. Not so that you can become me. Fuck, there doesn't need to be more me. You need to be more you. Like, motherfuckers will tell you how unique and individual they are, but then do typical copycat shit. Marshall, good to see you in the chat, man. Welcome to the show. Good to see you around, sir. Alright, so we go through these. Alright, each month we focus on one. And to be honest, we don't even simply focus on one. We unfold the pattern throughout the 3 months. Each month we focus on one, but I start with Ascension, so that way we can continue to talk about it throughout the entire 3 months. We jump to Ancestors next, because it's the easiest part. It really is. But once again, what's the difficult part? Contending with what you believe, or at least what you say you believe. Because for the most part, most people haven't actually examined what they believe. They'll make new statements. They'll say what everyone in the circle jerk says, because it's popular, it's cool, that's how you get the validation. And that validation gives you the confidence you never had, which was your original problem. It was your confidence. Confidence, consistency, and clarity. There we go. You'll think you're becoming more clear. You think things are becoming more clear because you feel good. You're in a new group, people are validating you, and it feels good. Why does it feel good? Because no one else ever validated you. You felt like everything in the world just seems to be a lie. There's some big conspiracy against the truth. And so when that's the case, it feels good to think you know the truth. That's why motherfuckers will still be looking for secrets, man. So that's what I want to go through today. I want to go through these 3 A's real quick. I'll show you the material we use. Original material. See, everyone else is going to read you someone else's book. They're going to tell you at the limits of their understanding to go within. Nope. They won't even tell you what go within means. That's why motherfuckers are looking for spooky chakra oil. God. Kundalini is a methodology. Kundalini is a methodology. But we're going to get into that today. Okay, each month I always take it from the beginning assumptions, the beginning ideas, the fundamental principles. So here, I showed it to you on the website, okay? So you can see this is what we go through. But I'm not going to use the website. I'm going to use the PDFs because it's easier for me to display them. Guys, it could all be so fucking simple, man. I'm so serious. It really could. Yeah, let me move this over here. But no, I'm not trying to hide it. These are dictionaries. I was doing some law research yesterday. I have blacks 1 through 9 here, and the 1 through 7, all that stuff I have in zip files. Each of the individual PDFs are in zip files. That way, it's not one big PDF. It would fucking suck to load and navigate the whole alphabet each and every time. It's easier for the new shit because a lot of the definitions are condensed. That's the word I wanted. A lot of the definitions are condensed. And so the dictionary gets a bit smaller. Where do I want to go? Here, we'll start here. We'll start with Ascension. Like I said, guys, it could all be so simple. I can do this in my sleep. I could do this if nobody paid me. Most motherfuckers don't. They rather pretend to be my friend so they can see how much it is they can get for free. Yeah, motherfucker, I can hold on to your shit. Telling me you're broke, but you're getting all that other new fancy shit. Whatever. Look, you ain't gotta worry about me judging you. Not me. Not let alone me. But this is what I'm gonna do here. Okay. Let's zoom out. Boom. these are atlases. What is an atlas? An atlas is a book of maps. Okay. Uh, a lot of people's one of the holes in their ignorance is their lack of understanding of philosophy. Okay, metaphysics is philosophy. It's not just saying, paranormal words. God. Okay, so we start with a taste of philosophy. Not so that I can be the end all be all by any means. I tell you guys I'm shit. But so you can have an idea of where you can go with this stuff, where you can go to find other sources of information. Because I'm not going to send you to the fucking 5D guy or fucking Bro Sanchez or Billy Carson. Like, no. No. I want you to get out of the spooky books for a minute. Not because the spooky books are wrong, but because you don't understand. And that be the difficult shit, bro. That be the difficult shit. Why don't you understand? Because most of the motherfuckers who teaching you don't understand. They don't understand. Oh, it's because Arius said so. No, it's because nobody critiques anything. That's the issue. You just walk into a room full of ignorant motherfuckers with another ignorant motherfucker at the front, and whatever they say, check, fire, facts. Here we go. Let me do this for you. I'm gonna re-up this coffee, and we're gonna jump into it because it's not that difficult. As always, it's not difficult. Here, let me turn my audio off.
And if everybody agreeing on the same thing, somebody wrong. You see? Check?
Check.
All right then. They play on your emotion. Saying nothing well and playing on your emotion. Tell a person what they want to hear and say nothing well. You can say nothing if you can say it well. They play on your emotion. And that's the problem with our people. They have been teaching you what you wanted to hear and not what you really needed to hear because they didn't know what you really needed to hear. That's called the art of public speaking. They play on your emotion. So that's getting your emotion up to a certain level, and you thinking that's spiritual, that's emotionalism. They play on your emotion. And they'll come up and they would come into some stuff and they would be talking all this good stuff and people, yeah. But everybody's ignorant. You see what I'm saying? They play on your emotion. And if everybody agreeing on the same thing, somebody wrong. You see? Check?
Check.
All right then. And if everybody agreeing on the same thing, somebody...
The clearest way to tell whether or not you're being gullible is to check whether or not you really believe you could even possibly be susceptible. If you have it in your mind that, me, I could never be caught in that. I'm smart enough to catch it. Oh my God, you're the main prey. You're the main prey. If you think I'm too good to get caught in the gullible shit, it's definitely you. I always say, bro, if you think I'm not talking about you, I know I am. It could be simple. It could be simple. Al Dickey, good to see you in the chat. Welcome to the show, my friend. All right, so how do you make this part of your everyday life? All right. How do you get into the methodology of magic? Well, like any methodology, you need to understand the fundamentals. Okay? One of the biggest hiccups to understanding the fundamentals, especially from what a lot of people are teaching, is they are teaching you fundamentals from a system that isn't fit for contemporary people. What do I mean by that? Because I don't want to just make statements. All right. Let's say Santana Dharma, Samkhya, right? This was made for the people who, if you don't know Samkhya, it is basically like when you're looking up stuff like Purusha, all right, or Prakriti, right? You see I have a little accent on there. I don't know if that's how it sounds, but I'm fucking with it. I know I'm wrong. I'll go through phases of it. Man, look, you got to have a deep phase. You got to have a willingness to find where you're wrong. Like, that's the... Oh, my God. It's okay to be wrong. Like, I get, this is what I'm talking about, the school trauma. Motherfuckers do not like looking like they're wrong. It's like motherfuckers who love pleasure but despise the idea of pain. Love happiness but despise sadness. But you don't even really know happiness or pleasure. That's not, let me guess, you think it's because this is what I'm saying. Timon times 2, good to see you in the chat. Welcome to the show. I ain't seen Timon in a minute. Timon be out there, man, living life. Oh, shit. Ascension. If you want to understand methodology, you have to understand the fundamentals. So, something like Samkhya, right? This was made for the people who lived in that time. A better example. Why there's no penguins in the Egyptian pantheon. It's not because crocodiles are supreme. It's not because crocodiles are supreme and penguins are not spiritual. No, it's literally made to fit the people who are learning from it. It's a system. Like, it's one thing to read the words. Prakriti, Purusha. Okay, I heard you say the word from the book. You motherfuckers don't speak Sanskrit. What does it matter, Arius? I know the translation. How do you know, first of all? And second of all, just simply translating it don't mean it hit the way it was designed to hit. So you took somebody through an Egyptian mysteries and they have no conception of what a crocodile is, how it works, how it lives. If a crocodile isn't part of their day-to-day life, it don't make sense the way it was designed to make sense. It's not because crocodiles are spiritual. They took a part of these people's everyday life and put it in the system. What you niggas know about a hippo? Nothing. So when you give a nigga a hippo-headed god, what's that gonna do? This is the thing motherfuckers will do now. They know barely any anatomy. All right, all they can do is repeat anatomy words. Pineal gland. Never question what a gland is, what constitutes a gland, or the cosmological foundation. Well, let me use a word you guys like. The cosmological substratum, because that's the important part. That's what I mean. What does spiritual mean? What is the ontology? What ontology are you invoking? It's easy to read. Who was it? Was it Don something? The landscape of the astral plane. Like, what cosmology is he invoking with that? And to what degree does it mix with a whole different cosmology? The Egyptian cosmology was made for the people there in that time. You can't just mix it with some Kaya. I mean, you can, but it's not going to do you any good. That's what I mean. People have an overabundance of information because the people who were initiated in those rites didn't know anything else about some other rite. It was made to hit you a certain way. You can be as confident as you want repeating words from a book. It's not going to be the thing. And it's not to say I don't say that to say, hey, look at me, I have the thing. No, I give y'all people to go look at. I give y'all concepts to look up. This is the information age. And some of y'all can't be bothered to watch more than a 1-minute video. You spend your whole day looking at reels, feeling confident. What is you is the crux of making this part of your everyday life. That is what you need to contend with. You don't need a new word that you didn't know before. You need to re-examine the words you've been using. It, the, of, and, or. You use these words all the time. What do they mean? How do you know that's what they mean? I remember in the last live, we talked about the word hand. 21 senses of the word hand. If the furthest you could conceive is this thing, you missed it. IDK, DKDF. That means something. Probably. I have to think about that for a second. So as a part of the work, realizing the fundamentals within your own personal reality, you could say it that way. I wouldn't say that's wrong. I'll say it this way. Part of the fundamental work is re-examining your personal reality. Like when I say the 3 stages of initiation, this is what they did. When we're talking about somebody in ancient Egypt, I have to say Kemet, or else I look stupid. We're talking about somebody in the ancient Nile Valley, okay? They had a general conception of reality that most everybody had, okay? What their initiation did was force them to re-examine their presuppositions, to re-examine what they took for granted, all right? That's what you're supposed to be doing. Like, I'm not going to tell you don't study different systems. Please study different systems. But what you're supposed to do is distill what a system is from that. Not just repeat the old words. Not just try and say, oh, well, what these people are saying in the new thing is the old thing. Like that's a clear example of the fact that you don't get it. Like just trying to take spiritual concepts and map them over physics and biology. That means it's clear you don't understand what either of those were. You wouldn't understand what the old system is, and you don't understand what physics and biology are. So the part of the work, the main part of the work, what is you, is re-examining how you've been framing the world. There's not some group out there that's making you miss it. It's you. It's you. It's the way you frame reality. All the way down to how you frame you. That's part of the reason I made the Bookman model. It's not because no one else can do this, although I'd place my bets because these motherfuckers is trash. I'd place my bets against it, but you can do this. This is bare bones. The Bookman model is bare bones. It's not even complex. It could be complex. I love the Egyptian pantheon, the Hindu pantheon, the Norse pantheon. There's so much of it still intact in the information we can get. Bump that. Who's selling Kundalini lotion? These niggas will sell you a new bottle of lotion, put the word Kundalini on it. Ooh, this is it. This is what I've been looking for. Head ass. Thank you, Smooth. I needed that laugh. That was funny. Kundalini lotion. And motherfuckers will overlook the fact that they still ashy after they put on the Kundalini lotion. No, it's not really that I'm ashy. My reptilian DNA is evolving in real time and y'all just are too low vibration to get it. Head ass. Head ass. Let's get into this. If you want to make this part of your everyday life, you have to re-examine your everyday life. What is spiritual? Because if you just say everything is spiritual, all you've done is strip the meaning out of the word. Look, everything is chair. Everything is chair. Everything you see is chair. The word chair doesn't have a meaning anymore. You may as well say nothing is chair. You've now taken all the meaning that word had and gotten rid of it. Like some people will say, okay, spiritual means breath. That's one sense of the word. God, and it's an old sense of the word. What is breath doing? How does it function? Don't give me the physics, biology description. When they said spirit is breath, there was no biology description, so that's not part of the context they were using. What is breath doing? How does it fit within the whole? That's what they're pointing to. The in and out. So you can't just say it's everything. No, it moves in and out. That's different than saying it's everything. When something is everything, it does not move. If it was everything, there'd be no place for it to go, because wherever it would go is already it, because it's everything. The details. Well, I'm always going to start you with the existential essentials. Now, please, if you've never looked up the word existential, this would be a perfect time. I mean, you tell Christians to do their research. Do you do any? That's what we call a hypocrite. The existential essentials, okay? We're talking about what exists, all right? There is no right or wrong answer to this. These are the fundamentals that will constitute what makes something right, wrong, true, false, real, or not real. Everything is real. Okay, fine. But then the word real doesn't mean anything anymore. See, people are so quick to try and get beyond all limitations, they never stopped to comprehend the necessity or the utility of limitations. There's nowhere to go, kid. Slow down. The existential essentials, okay? Any right religion or order is going to start you off with the existential essentials. It's not going to answer. They're not going to ask the question. They're just simply going to answer it for you. They're simply going to give you the presuppositions of that body of knowledge, of that system, of that theory. They're going to give you the presuppositions, and that's not bad. It's essential. It's essential. Like, look, if you invoke DMT, glands, melanin, metabolism, all of those are artifacts of a system of thought, and that system of thought has metaphysical presuppositions. That's not because I said so. It's not because I said so. You can't skip philosophy, kids. You just can't. Well, once again, because I can't tell you what you can't do. You can, but you're not going to understand. The most you're going to do is feel confident. And the only reason you stop there is because you never felt confident before. The existential essentials, okay? Areas for president, please don't. Please don't. This is why I hit the scene as the Duke, bro. I don't want to be the nigga in charge. I'll be the second in command, so y'all can focus on that motherfucker, and I go do what the fuck I want to do. Not for president. Oh my God, there's a rabbit hole. I don't want to go down there. We're here. Look, the answers to these three questions, all right? Because once again, there's no ultimate thing out there that you can't know, that you need to know, and once you know it, now you're in. No. You need to re-examine what are your fundamentals now. You don't need new fundamentals. The only reason you're gonna come to a conclusion that you'll need new fundamentals is if you've never examined them. And then you do, and you find yourself destitute. Like, okay, what happened when you left religion? Jesus ain't real. Christianity's a psyop. Okay, cool. Not going to tell you you're wrong, but what happened? You looked at your fundamentals and found yourself destitute. It could all be so simple. Fundamentals based of strong feelings, opinions, and emotions. Yeah. And look, it's a natural progression, especially if you've never had to examine your fundamentals. Because when these religions answer these questions for you, especially the ones that are good, especially the ones that have survived for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, nay, I say thousands of years, these really good systems, they answer these questions seamlessly to the point where the people involved never have to question it. That's how you know it's good. But see, when you jump out here and say all that is fake, all that is unreal, okay, cool, smooth, you can do it. But you've laid yourself bare, and you have to examine these points. Otherwise, you're just going to repeat words, and you're never going to feel nested in reality. So, what is reality at large? That's the first of these questions. And every time I give a lesson, I start from the fundamentals. So one, you can see the line of reasoning. Once again, how do I make this part of your everyday life? Well, what is the reality at large that contains your everyday life? Arius, who cares? You do! This is why I had to reconstruct Dawson's question. Not because something's wrong with Dawson, but because it presumed certain things. All right? And I don't want you to have to try and presume, because you're just going to trip yourself up. How do I know? I did it for years. He just wants to be cool. Really? You think I'm cool? Stop it. Dick, bro. What is reality at large? All right. This is an ontological question. Remember, metaphysics is philosophy. This is thinking about your thinking. Okay. If you're one of those people who claim people think too much, I guarantee you almost never think. Or you tell yourself you overthink when what you're really doing is looping in your own fear and insecurities. You call that overthinking. And it's not even thinking. That's having thoughts. One's an active process, one's a passive process. Anyways, what is reality at large? What do you think? Because you get in here, I'm not going to give you the answer to the question. There is no the answer to the question. There is a contextual answer. You ask the Egyptians, reality at large, the waters of noon. Does that mean it's the answer? Does that mean once you can repeat that, now you know the secrets? Oh my God, I said, what the fuck does the word the mean? Reality at large. This is an ontological question. Words like real are ontological. Ontology is the study of what is. Okay, it's the study of what is. So we are looking at the fundamental categories that make up your reality. Okay? Because people will love to say the word spiritual, but if you don't examine what constitutes the category, well, you'll just put it on anything that you feel it should go on. Hey, look, if you invoke melanin, what cosmology is that coming from? A cosmology where there's no such thing as spiritual. See, you trying to put it in there, it's like you trying to grow plants with bleach. The bleach is made not to do what you're trying to do. I can figure it out. I know I can. I'm me. Go ahead, kid. Please. So look, you look at the ontology first. What is reality at large? What are the fundamental categories that will constitute the manner in which I frame reality? What are the fundamental categories that will constitute the manner in which I frame reality? Because remember, you're essentially trying to frame something that's infinite, unframeable. So what does that mean? You give up? No. You think about it. People have thought about these things for thousands of years. Let's take Samkhya, for example, because they do a good job of it, I think. First, they have the Shiv Shakti, both which give rise, or you could say the two or one. There's actually arguments about it. That gives rise to creation. But before that, they have the category of the unknowable. So you don't just want to throw everything into the category of unknowable. You say, well, nothing can be known. Oh, how do you know that? You place the variable so that you can contend with the idea, so that you can delineate what's going to constitute each category. The Council of Nicaea, they had the arguments about whether or not Christ was God or was a creature, a creation. What is reality at large? The ontology, okay? Next, we jump to the epistemology. So what exists in context of that reality at large? Okay, epistemology is the study of knowing. Okay, so when I'm saying what is reality in context of the at large, another way of asking that question is, okay, in terms of what I've already said, is reality at large? Well, in context of that, what can I know? What can be known? That's it. It's as simple as that. Okay? Remember, once again, there's no the right answer. Because if you ask, okay, how do I make this part of my personal reality, my everyday life? Okay, what are the fundamental structures of what you're calling a personal reality or everyday life? You have to start from there. You have to. And somebody who grew up in the Shinto cosmology, the Hindu cosmology, the Egyptian cosmology, the Greek cosmology, the Norse cosmology, they would each have different answers. So you have to check what cosmology you're using. See, this is what I love about my show. After you watch me, you can't watch other people. You can't. Not because I said you can't, but because you can see through them. You don't even know what you're seeing. Some of these motherfuckers are resentful of it. I love it. They always hate me for this, for destroying their old world. But it's like, it was shoddy, dude. The only reason you was over there because you felt good. But then you'll turn around to Christians, right, and be like, ha ha, Christian, I have the real thing. What constitutes the category? Oh, God. Ontology. epistemology. You need these two to have a methodology. You need ontology and epistemology forming some sort of a cosmology in order to enact a methodology. See, it's easy to just say Kundalini and repeat what you heard from a book. You say melanin? Oh shit, that must be it. DNA? Oh shit, both of those exist in the part of my knowledge that I'm not too sure of. So it must be it. No, why don't you check your knowledge and what constitutes these categories? The worlds of physics, anatomy, biology, quantum physics. There is no methodology. There's none. But they're made to be that way. Not because there's a conspiracy against you. Check the history. Motherfuckers who don't know history, insert mystery everywhere. These poor babies. They think I'm insulting them. It's okay. So, you got the at-large and the in context, the two of which are deeply connected. Okay? The place where you can possibly find methodology is going to be from the third question, okay? What is the narrative or continuity between the two? Between what two? The at-large and in context. What is the narrative continuity between the two? Okay? See, you can just say root chakra. You can just say, well, root chakra deals with da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay. What's that have to do with anything? This is where you get the continuity. This is where methodology comes from. But see, if you're just repeating something out of a book, you wouldn't know that. If you never examined philosophy, you wouldn't know that. If no one ever talked to you about cosmology, and so you didn't know how to know whether or not it was relevant, you wouldn't know that. Perfect example of how this works. Because most everyone is familiar with Christianity. They spent so much of their time running from it. Okay? I know you're familiar with it. That's why I can use Christianity to talk to you about how these fundamentals play out and end up becoming methodologies. Okay? At large. If we're using a Christian cosmology, what is reality at large? In a very simple sense. Heaven, hell, and earth. Very simple sense. You can make it more complicated. I will not deny that to you. You can. I'm giving you basic categories. Basic cosmological categories. What is the structure of reality at large? Before you can ask what you do in your day-to-day life, you need to know what composes that. Or you can presume that you already got it. In which case, why the fuck are you asking for a methodology? Heaven, hell, earth. Reality at large. What exists in context of those? In heaven, what's in context of heaven? Well, you got God and angels. Very simple. Once again, it could be more complex. Doesn't need to be. Doesn't need to be. Hell, what exists in context of that at large? The devil, demons, boom. Very simple. I gave you an at large and what can be known within that. Earth, man and woman. It's very simple. Very simple. At large in context. But, and this is where your methodology is going to come from. Okay? Why is methodology going to come from the narrative or the continuity? Because the methodology is going to be employed in your experience of now. In order to have an experience of now, you necessarily have an experience of future and past. Let's say it again. because it's essential to methodology. It's essential to your day-to-day life. See? Day to day to day to day. Well, how do you experience that day to day to day to day? Through now. The idea of a now is nested within a past and a future. See, it's easy to say generator, operator, destroyer. Ha ha ha. Past, present, and future. This is why all the cosmologies have a Trinity. Continuing, I'm sorry. The continuity or the narrative nests you in a now. What did Christianity do? They took all that at large, heaven, hell, earth, the in context, God and angels, devil and the demons, man and woman. They took all of that and gave you the continuity. How do these things fit together? What does it have to do with me? All right? What they do? They give you the past. You know, God made the earth in 7 days. Lucifer falls from heaven. Adam gets kicked out of the garden. Christ comes to earth, crucified, and then rises. Boom! Got a past. Right? Samkhya. Shiv Shakti, their intimate dance of creation gives rise to creation and the many things that exist. Past, Egypt, the waters of noon, by virtue of, some people say by virtue of Ptah, some people say Ra just came by himself. Different schools of thought. Anyways, they give you that. They give you the story of Ra and his beginning, all of creation, his ever continuous journey into the underworld to get the sun and back. All right, they're giving you the past that leads into the now, but not just that. They give you what's going to happen in the future. They give you what's going to happen in the future. Well, how do they do it in Christianity? Revelations, they got a whole book devoted to it. Most of the book is talking about past. Then they give you the future. Jesus and them coming back. He coming with the sword. Okay? What does that do? Remember, your everyday life. What narrative is your everyday life nested in? Because that's what you use to figure out methodology. You have all the past from Christianity. You got the future that it tells you it's going to have. What does that do? It gives you a now. And from that now, you develop methodology. Well, I'm going to go preach the word of God. I'm going to go sit out there at 5 a.m., knock on your door, give you a watchtower. I'm going to go to church, make sure I hit that cracker and juice every Sunday. All right? I'm going to do my Hail Marys with my, what do they call those things? The rosary beads. Right? I'm going to sit and beat myself with a little whip because I'm a sinner. All of those methodologies are nested in that continuity. And so, if you've gotten rid of your spiritual rites, religions, orders, your cultures, if you've gotten rid of those things, if you say all of that is fake, all of that is unnecessary, okay, wonderful, fine, you're free to do that. But if you're looking for how to do something, what fundamentals are you using? See, if you haven't examined them, especially today, what you do is you pick up humanity. Is you pick up particle physics, quantum physics, biology, anatomy, all these different fields that don't have a cosmological narrative. This is why motherfuckers make up ridiculous alien stories, because they have no narrative and they're desperate for a narrative. They never examined how essential a narrative is to them having a methodology. Ontology, epistemology. If genius is methodology, where does spirit lay in this? Or am I mixing concepts inaccurately? Spirit is once again, I'm not scolding you. First of all, you want to make sure when you're asking that question, you're not invoking different methodology, different cosmologies. Like for this, for example, this would be an example. Rephrasing of the question. So if Odin is the father of Thor and he adopted Loki, then where does Anubis fit into this? Okay, so you want to make sure you're not asking a question like that, because a lot of these different orders of the Western tradition will use the word spirit or soul, but depending on the way they have their framework structured, they'll be using it in different places and in different ways. Okay, so there's no overarching meaning of the word spirit. There's a contextual meaning. Okay, so first of all, you want to make sure you're not looking for some ultimate meaning. If you're asking about the Bookman model, here, let me show you. All right, boom. It's part of the epistemology. Okay, it's part of the in context of an at large. See, even Christianity gives you more than one in context of an at large. I'm giving you just one. Like I said, bare bones. Why? So you can make whatever the fuck you want to. Y'all niggas is desperate to make whatever you want. So yeah. Okay, so I'm not trying to be mean to you. This PM, by the way, PM Infinity. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm referring to the Bookman model. Yes. Okay, look. The in context of the at large that is non-physical. The in context is spirit. What does that mean? Anything within the context of the at large we call non-physical, you can call that in context spirit or a spirit. All right? Simple as that. We can make it more complicated. Don't mind it, but you don't have to. Okay? When we're talking about something like genius, this is down in the methodological area. Excuse me. Okay? And what I do love, I have to point this out more often. Things like personality, shadow, genius. These are not singular things. These are a category of thing. Your personality isn't singular. Okay? Even the body's not singular. All right? It exists as a multitude of other things. Not only that, the components that make it up are not the same components you had when it was first created. The cells of your body are not the same cells that were there. Now, the ones you have now are not the same ones you had when you were born. And that's just part of the natural process, okay? It's not a singular thing. Personality, shadow are not a singular thing. Genius is not a singular thing. But I get the inclination to think that way, though, because that's part of the Western culture. You know, they've killed their connection to divinity on purpose because of the relationship they had with the church. Okay? So, I mean, once again, history. But people aren't interested in the history of where they're getting components. They just want to say, melanin kundalini. Look what I found in a book. I mean, not in a book. I know it. Right? Anyways, these are the fundamentals of the model I'm giving you. Like if somebody says shadow work, what cosmology are you invoking with that? What cosmology? What fundamentals? It's easy to repeat the spooky sounding word. But if you don't know what fundamentals you're invoking, it's either pseudoscience or you don't know what you're talking about. Anyways, excuse me. Sorry. Okay? When it comes to the methodological aspect, like we're talking about personality, the idea of personality is nested in a narrative. It's nested in a narrative. Genius, nested in a narrative. The physical body, nested in a narrative. The narrative is essential. It's as essential as water is to a fish. Like, I'm frustrated because I'm like, how do I make that simpler? Same way you can't force a horse to drink, bro. You can't force a motherfucker to contend with their own presuppositions if they don't want to. Like, the biggest toxin in all this shit is what people want to believe. See, when you want to believe something, you'll fight against anything else. You'll fight. You will watch that 1 minute video, make a comment, and you will not look at anything longer than that. Matter of fact, see, that's what I'm saying. This is why people don't like me. Because you can't get rid of what I'm saying. You can call me whatever name you want to. I'll probably agree with you. Don't mean I'm wrong. That's the problem. The details, the context makes all the difference. It makes all the difference. So that's part of what you're going to do with the ontology and epistemology. I didn't account for the in context and at large. Goddamn. I mean, it's okay though. It's okay. When you don't know what you don't know, you're going to make those mistakes. Ignorance is the precursor to knowledge. Before you know, you have to not know. See, a lot of people, they didn't like the feeling of not knowing. It scares them. They found Christianity isn't real, which I wouldn't agree with. Christianity isn't real. Ah! It was terrifying for them. They felt untethered from the world around them. And so they desperately sought out something to tether them. Like, it's almost like it's like fucking clockwork. You leave Christianity, you jump into the Afrocentric, then maybe you might hit a little Afro-spirity. You know, you get melanin, you get Hebrew Israelite, and then you get in there for a while, you're getting part of that new clique, and then you feel like, oh, something's not right still. And then you jump into the Bobby and Panic stuff, the Dr. Phil, the Lean Bay. All right, you jump into that, you find the new group, you say what those people say, but nowhere along the line were you checking your own understanding. You're checking how you felt. Trying not to be mean, because people can't hear me through the meanness. Mama told you, baby, they just jealous. Niggas took that to heart. I was a conspiracy theorist, etc. Yeah, there are all kind of things going on in this world, bro. I'm not going to tell you you're just wrong about everything. Okay? But I will tell you, if you never check, you're necessarily wrong about everything. Personality is not a singular thing. Genius is not a singular thing. Okay, now maybe to begin with, just to begin to grasp some of these concepts, you may need to see it singularly. But I'm going to tell you, it's not going to stay that way. Remember, we're trying to frame something that is beyond being framed. Not so that you can ultimately frame it, so that you can be nested in it. So that you can contend with it, you can engage with it. Things that are beyond your grasp. See, what do I mean when I say grasp? I'm doing my hand like this. What do I mean when I say grasp? Touch it with your physical hand? No. Conceive it. How do you conceive that which is beyond conception? You frame it. And then what you grasp is the framing. It's not difficult. It's just you have to contend with what you presumed. And just like the Christians didn't want to have to do, just because you jump out of Christianity and say you're something different, don't change it. I was bullied. I'm numbing the ass on this. All right. It's part of life. It's part of life, especially black folks, man. We'll make fun of you about anything. Motherfuckers will really take that shit to heart and be like, if I was different, they wouldn't make fun of me. No, that's the point. That's why we'll make fun of you about anything. Fuck, are you drinking water? Oh, wet throw-head ass nigga. Are you over there breathing air? Oxygen deficient little bitch. It's not because something's wrong. A lot of young men being raised by single mothers. Women don't get the jokes. Like, women are bad with roasting. They'll take that shit personally immediately and then start getting venomous. Like, it's part of the headbutting, like between goats, man. You gotta go through it. It's par for the course. I can always tell the motherfuckers who weren't bullied enough because they're terrible trolls. Like, you're bald, Darius. Really? That's what you got? God damn it. These motherfuckers with their mama too long. I understand. It's alright. Yeah, man, look. When we're doing the guild, every week we deal with shadow work. Every week. See, throughout the course, over the 3 months, first month Ascension, second month Ancestors, third month Altars. Throughout that, yeah, we'll change. Shadow work don't change. We're always dealing with that. We're always pointing you back to your own presuppositions. Why? Because that's the only thing in your fucking way. But if you presume you don't presume, I guarantee you presumed. There was niggas in football that couldn't handle the extremity of the workouts to the point of blaming the coach. Ooh. That nailed it. Nailed it. Why do I have to practice, coach? Aren't I good enough? It's really, you don't like me, coach. That's why you make me run laps. Yeah. See, motherfuckers want to be able to walk in here, do no work, but pretend like they've done it. So they can look back at someone else and say, ha, do your research, do the work. Motherfucker, let's say do the work, right? Won't tell you what the work is. You can't ask me, you gotta go within. What does that mean? Go within! I'll talk to you guys about what go within means. I make sure I go over it. Because it has to mean something if we're going to say it. And you have to examine what it means. See, look, once again, easy shit. I'd love to get to the difficult shit. But you gotta get the presuppositions. You have to get the fundamentals. Otherwise, you don't know what you're talking about. And then you don't know what you don't know. You don't know that you don't know. And so you just start spouting it out to other people. Or you sit in the shadows behind a veil of anonymity and throw weak insults. God, it's so sad. Pathetic. Pathetic is a better word, not just sad. Pathetic. Anyways, so go within, right? How do I say this? Okay. Because it's not difficult. If what you are is more than your body, you're beyond your body, you transcend your body, the answer to your question won't be found in the body. Like, you think that'd be simple, but it's logic. It's thinking about your thinking, and most people have skipped over that part. So, I'm not the body, or I'm more than my body. Okay, smooth. Wonderful. Let's go. The physical world is an illusion or hologram. Okay, illusion means it's not what it appears to be. Good, wonderful, great. So when we say go within, it's not going to be either of those things. Necessarily. This is part of what the initiation process took you through. You were looking at first the world at large, the physical realm, the world in context of that, the physical body, and then using those two, you're pointed away from them both. Why? That's fine. It's a good question. It's fine. Why? Because when you understand the connections or the continuity of the apparent world, You'll understand, you can begin, there we go. You can begin to examine where that comes from. You can begin to understand where that comes from. So you don't just want to say everything physical is spiritual, because then the words don't mean anything anymore. They have to have a limitation. They have to have context. Otherwise, you're just making sounds. So when you turn away, you turn your awareness away from the physical world and the physical body. I'm not saying tell yourself they don't real. I'm not saying disregard them. No. Hell, I don't even think you can, to be completely honest. I don't even think you can. I'm not telling you to disregard the physical world. I'm telling you to look beyond it. So once you say, okay, the physical world is an illusion, the physical body being part of that illusion is not me, okay? So everything left that you have that would constitute the category of me is the within. That's the direction you want to go, okay? It's not difficult. But see, for most people, when they say spiritual, it doesn't mean anything. They don't know what constitutes the category, and they refuse to examine it because that might upend their feeling, their confidence of knowing. See, I'm not just saying physical realm, non-physical realm. We talk about the distinction so you can understand why there's nowhere to go. There isn't something to do. It's about what is you. This is a being work. See, I get it. Some folks felt dumb their whole life, and they hated that feeling. And so now they finally feel like there's a place where they can one up and not have to feel like they're dumb. Don't run from it. God, it's the best way to learn something, to embrace where you're dumb. Because then you don't have to be dumb. You can actually actively be facing it. Here's a cup, right? Physical cup. We won't get into the philosophical arguments about whether or not this is a cup. Let's assume it's a cup for now, okay? Thought experiment. Help you out with the idea of go within. Physical cup. Molecules, atoms, right? Okay. Imagine a cup. What do I mean by imagine? Let me guess. Based on your cosmology, is that something the brain is creating? Please show us the science on that. Because if you listen to the actual physicists, the biologists, the people who do this work, quite publicly, for at least the last 40 years, at least, quite publicly, meaning it's not a secret. Meaning doing a bit of research would show you. No, they're all lying to me. How do you know? They weren't lying to you to tell you DMT. You'll take that. You'll take melanin. You'll take glands. But everything else was a lie. How'd you know? How do you know? How'd you determine what was a lie? Let me guess. You're humble enough to know. Your intuition. Ooh, that's a spooky word. Fuck. It's like saying, looking at the Egyptian pantheon, right? And saying, well, Anubis is real, but Thoth, Osiris, that's not real. Christians, you can't pick and choose from the Bible what you want, but you pick and choose what you want out of physics and anatomy. Come on, guys. I know. And it's something you can get rid of, all right? Look, molecules, atoms, okay? Imagine one. Imagine a cup. It doesn't need to be made of molecules or atoms, right? Okay? Very simple. Distinction between physical and non-physical. Now, this is just to start you off. Because if you look at the cosmology, look at that as a third part. primordial. So we got physical, we got non-physical, right? You can see both of the cups. The angle from which you can see those cups is the primordial. Right there in your experience. Very simple. And once again, I'm not telling you something that has never been said. I'm not telling you something that's never been said. The thing you have to question is your understanding of what you think you know. That was what the initiation process was for. But motherfuckers want to jump past initiation. No, it was all fluff. It was unnecessary. Just give me the secrets and I'm good. There was no secret. Remember Kung Fu Panda with the dragon scroll? Right? He thought there was a secret ingredient. Right? That's what's gonna make me the dragon warrior. Once I know the secret, then I'm better than you and I can do this. No, kiddo. There's no secret. There isn't. There's no secret. Ooh, that's a spooky word. Oh, that's funny. I'm trying not to be as much of a dick as I can, but god damn it, man. Yeah, inside the dragon scroll was a mirror. You the only secret there is. Bro, I keep going back. What is you? How do you come to that idea? You have to examine that. Because look, when you say what I am is everything, now it doesn't mean anything anymore. You can't do that. Well, you can do it, but it's not going to do anything for you. What it's going to do is going to take everything you've been doing and leave it unexamined. And you just go around collecting new words, throwing it into that unexamined pit, and feeling confident. You'll start calling your confident feeling intuition. You'll never examine what that means, where it comes from, how it functions. No, I already know. The new Christians. This is why I say, what is you all the time? What is this you that has a day-to-day life? That has a personal experience. Because if you're reducing it to just the body, you've missed the point of the work. Now, how do I use this in my day-to-day physical life? You have to start with what is you, because that's the center. That is what's directing what you do in your physical life. I mean, why is that? So then what's the answer, Aries? Ain't no secret. I'm not sitting over here claiming to have an answer in my pocket. You don't need me. But see, you like that idea because you like to think, I don't need anyone or anything. It's all within you. What is you? Shut up, Aries. You're asking too many questions. Okay. It can't be that you're not asking enough questions, right? It's got to be I'm doing too much. I get you. You're right. I'm sure all of reality is doing too much. Because you are the one who's doing just the right amount. So humble. God. There's still agreements where I still believe and invoke. Yeah, that's what you have to challenge. That's what you have to challenge. See, a lot of people get in here and try and find a way to change the physical world. A man usually meets his destiny on the path he takes to avoid it. A man usually meets his destiny on the path he takes to avoid it. See, motherfuckers will come here running from something else and will lie to themselves about what they're running from. No, not me. I'm not running. I'm watching you. I can see you just... Like, you ever see, guys, you're in public, right? And there's a girl who thinks you're attractive. What's she gonna do? she's going to look at everything but you. Have you ever watch? I know sometimes you maybe, oh my God, titties and a smile, I make it pussy. And you start to lose your brain. Slow down, slow down. They all have vaginas, kid. All right, slow down. Actually look at her. A baby, when a baby's mad at you, upset, it'll try not to look at you. Have you ever seen a dog avoiding another dog that's more dominant? What does it do? It tries not to look at it. Why? Because that's what the thing is focused on. You trying to avoid something focuses you on it. Don't think of a purple elephant. What does it make you do? You think of a purple elephant. As the thing is bound, so it is unbound. The fundamental principles never change. Aries friends are like watching an episode of Aries the Apprentice, bruh. Yeah, y'all gotta go back and watch that shit. Cause man, it's fun. I gotta bring the skits back. Okay, so you want to be able to smell your own bullshit. Not so that you can never have any. That's impossible. So that you can recognize it. Why do you want to recognize it? So that you can get out of your own way. Remember, you're the supreme. I am that I am. Right? So if there's anything in your way, it's got to be you. Can't be anything else. Unless, of course, that idea that you're the supreme was really a lie. Either you're the thing that can't be stopped, or that's a lie. And if you're the thing that can't be stopped, if there was ever anything stopping you, it would have to be you. Thinking about your thinking. There's no new spooky book you need. Why? To get you another word you're not even going to look up? Oh, that's so infuriating. Oh, to get you another word you're not going to look up, that you're going to misuse in front of a motherfucker you think don't know how words work. Y'all motherfuckers will get new words to impress dumb niggas. I gotta piss. Hold on. Watch my face.
And if everybody agreeing on the same thing, somebody wrong. You see? Check? Check. All right then. They play on your emotion. Saying nothing well and playing on your emotion. Tell a person what they want to hear and say nothing well. You can say nothing if you can say it well. They play on your emotion. And that's the problem with our people. They have been teaching you what you wanted to hear and not what you really needed to hear because they didn't know what you really needed to hear. That's called the art of public speaking. They play on your emotion. So that's getting your emotion up to a certain level, and you thinking that's spiritual, that's emotionalism. They play on your emotion. And they'll come up and they would come into some stuff and they would be talking all this good stuff and people, yeah. But everybody's ignorant. You see what I'm saying? They play on your emotion. And if everybody agreeing on the same thing, somebody wrong. You see? Check? Check. All right then. And if everybody agreeing on the same thing, somebody wrong. You see? Check? Check. All right then. They play on your emotion. Saying nothing well and playing on your emotion. Tell a person what they want to hear and say nothing well. You can say nothing if you can say it well. They play on your emotion. And that's the problem with our people. They have been teaching you what you wanted to hear and not what you really needed to hear because they didn't know what you really needed to hear. That's called the art of public speaking. They play on your emotion. So that's getting your emotion up to a certain level, and you thinking that's spiritual, that's emotionalism. They play on your emotion. And they'd come up and they would come into some stuff and they would be talking all this good stuff and people, yeah. But everybody's ignorant. You see what I'm saying? They play on your emotion. And if everybody agreeing on the same thing, somebody wrong. You see? Check? Yeah. All right then. And if everybody agreeing on the same thing, somebody.
You see, when he says check at the end, motherfuckers they don't want to look dumb. They don't want to look like they didn't just understand. So they treat it like amen at church. Check. What's he doing? He's checking to see, is there anybody who didn't understand what I said? That was the opportunity to look dumb, to learn. Motherfuckers don't want to do that. Check. Fire. 100 gems, facts. Yeah, look, and I'm so serious. Test the group of people you're around. Say something ridiculous. Say something that you know doesn't make any sense, and watch them all cheer. Try it. No, Aries, we're the chosen ones. I know we are. Okay. Look, whatever group you're doing who do the spiritual study, say something outlandish, ridiculous, and watch them all cheer. That's what he's saying. Watch them all cheer. Go ahead, ask them. Say something, then ask, hey, anybody not understand that? Crickets. Except for the check, gems, fire, facts. That's you choosing to be in the group. That's why I don't like to just let shit sit. Not because I need the validation. Bobby used to say, is anybody listening to me? Check, go look it up. Like nobody wants to contend with what they already think they know. They want to feel good. Most of the stuff people say, they only know in a motivational or inspirational sense. When they say I'm everything, it's just motivation and inspiration. There's no mechanics to it. There's nothing analytical. There's nothing critical about what they're doing. They're saying something to feel better. I mean, look, I'm arrogant. I'm a loser. I'm bald. I smell funny. Maybe I'm on the autism spectrum. Look, you can give me whatever you got. Don't mean I'm wrong. Oh, yes. Nice and warm. All right. Continuing, guys. Okay? Remember, this is about being, not doing. I'm going through various levels of suffering. Good. Lean in. The initiation process, especially if you want to do this on your own, you got to be willing to go too far. You have to be willing to have been wrong. If you're never willing to have been wrong, especially if you ain't done shit yet, if you ain't done shit but sit in the shadows by yourself and read a book, listen to somebody talk, you ain't even done anything yet. So serious. Like, motherfuckers will compare themselves to people who don't do this work at all and think that makes them advance. It's like if you start running track and you just start doing it. Or, maybe you've been doing it for a few years, but you only ever compare yourself to people who don't run at all. No. You're gonna overinflate your confidence. Necessarily. You have to compare yourself to other motherfuckers that run. If you have no body of work, if you have nothing but a feeling, you're wrong. You gotta be. I remember watching a Bobby event where motherfucker questioned that he was saying, what he was saying, got you, saying almost started a riot. If you go in there and you disagree with somebody, it's gonna start a riot. I remember what that Panic video, man. Panic was on somebody's interview thing. It was like an old dude. And there was another dude who didn't know who he was, didn't care who he was. Dude didn't even really question Panic. But he didn't go in there, oh, Panic, thank you, brother. You're teaching us, you're enlightening us. He didn't give Panic the slob on the knob. Panic was upset. I was like, man, come on, bruh. Like, who is this guy? I'm trying to teach the people. Come on, man. Like, please. I really, come give it to me. But you guys don't have no smoke. You motherfuckers have weak insults. They don't know how to make points. But you're never going to learn anything in those groups where no one disagrees. You can't. You can't learn in a group where no one disagrees. Imagine your math teacher back in the day would have just given you an A on anything you put on the paper. No, don't even imagine your math teacher. Imagine your child's math teacher does that. So you can not give a fuck about yourself. Imagine your baby is going to school and no matter what they put on that paper, the teacher says, check, fire, facts, 100. What you gonna think of the teacher? Right? Come on now. Maybe that works in kindergarten. Okay? Great job. Well, everything should be like kindergarten while you pretend to have collegiate level information. No, can't do it. You can do it. But you're not gonna learn. Damn it, man. Them motherfuckers will repeat things you heard Panic say as if, yeah, it really makes sense. But you didn't question any of it. It makes sense because it's, what's the word? It's beneficial to the feeling you want to have. You repeat what Bobby said because it's beneficial to the feeling you want to have. You're not risking. And that's why you lose. You cannot win at a game where you do not have the option of losing. So what is ascension? Okay? Let's talk about this. Because I go through the maps, I go through what the difference between a map and a method is. Here, I gotta do this. I have to do this. Because look, you're familiar with the map of the chakras, the Kalipov or the Tree of Life. All right, you're familiar with the elements, whether you do it fourfold or fivefold. These are cosmological maps. What is a cosmological map? It is taking something that is by its nature infinite and giving it finite framing so that you can grasp it. It is taking something that is by its very nature infinite, giving it finite. Why am I drawing a triangle? The Trinity. The triangle does that. Blank paper that the triangle is on. Don't tell me Kabbalion. You just read words. You didn't understand any of it, kid. The blank paper. Right? See, a point and a line by themselves can never give that infinite blank paper finite boundaries. The triangle is the first thing that does it. So now we have a finite framing while still retaining its infinite divisibility within it. Good morning, Gil Gang. I did so hot, right? Look, just pick up the volume. Look at these words. I can't wait to tell the motherfucker these words. No. You gotta contend with the information. That's what someone did through the process of initiation. They spent that time having to contend. Not just walk into a group and a motherfucker say, good job, you got it, to any and everything you say. You do that to babies. God, and dumb babies. Fuck. I'm sorry. Oh. All right, so we know the maps. Those are fundamental maps. Those maps don't have methodology on them. That was from a time where maps didn't automatically have you on it. So you're spoiled for choice with your phone, right? You turn on the phone. Here, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you right out the guild too. Do I still have that? Here it is. Here it is. I'm gonna go to the study material. I'm gonna show you. Because I keep all this stuff so you can always look at it. Flatland is outstanding, bro. Flatland is outstanding. I always recommend Flatland. Here it is. Okay. Because look, you're spoiled for choice these days. You open up your map and it automatically can tell you where you are in relationship to the map. So you never think about the difference in category. Let me put it up here. Here we go. All right. You open up your Google Maps, right? We're looking at the ontology. Let me pause this so it don't jump ahead of me. You're looking at the ontology. All right. What is the basis of what we're saying is real? Because if you open up the cosmological map from the Norse pantheon, the Hindu pantheon, and the Egyptian pantheon, they are mapping the same territory, but they frame it differently. The ontology. Open up the map. You don't put on the tracking, right? So it don't tell you where you are right away if you don't have the tracking on. But what will it give you? The fundamentals of what constitutes the category of real. Right? It'll give you the fundamentals of the map. The fundamentals. You get the roads, you get the green spaces, you get the names of certain areas relative to one another. All right? You get the basic part of the map. There's no methodology yet. If you open up the map and you don't tell it where you are, where you want to go, it's not going to tell you how to do anything. It's not. It's not going to tell you how to do anything. Why? Because it's a fundamental map. You only have the ontology, okay? Just like with the chakras, it gives you the sevenfold pattern. Wait, we're going to debate about whether or not reality can be divided into 7 or to 10 or to 12 or to 4 or to 5, right? Is that what you want to do? Well, which one is right? It's infinite. This is why you have to understand the principles. Otherwise, motherfuckers will have you looking at fucking molecules all day. The ontology, the fundamentals of what exists in context, what we're talking about, okay? Because I have the, here, I'll show you this too. Look, the map at the top, okay? It's a park map, all right? What's the ontology? What are the fundamentals of what exists? The green, and everything inside the box. Everything outside of the box is not part of the map. So it gives you the box and the green space. Okay? What are we talking about here when we look at the ontology? It gives you the very basic bottom. You need that. There's no way it's going to tell you how to do something without those fundamentals. The fundamentals cannot be presumed. So, you start out with the ontology, okay? You don't tell it where you are, all right? Next, let's look at the epistemology. Once again, I'm not going to tell it where I'm at, but I'm going to look for something. I looked up the goodwill here, okay? I like the goodwill. The goodwill is fun. So, what does it do? It takes that fundamentals it gave you, the ontology, and gives you the epistemology. Well, what exists in context of the at-large that you showed me, right? All those little red pens are things that exist in context of the at-large that you've displayed. See what happens if I zoom out on the map? I've changed the at-large. You ever look for something on the map, then change where you're looking for it, and it asks you, you want to search in this area? Why? Because you've changed the at-large. So what are the in context? And to mind you, you can learn a lot without knowing how to do something. You can learn a lot from just the fundamentals. Like if we went back just to ontology, you can learn the relationship between the location of Marietta and the city of Atlanta. You don't have to ask how to do something. You don't have to ask where am I. It can show you the relative proximity of the two. Easy. You look up goodwill. You don't tell it where you are. You don't even tell it you want to go there. You don't need to. But you can learn plenty about any of those goodwills. You can learn the time they open and close. You can get some reviews on the service. You can look at images of it without any methodology. At least Unk Shield. Good to see you in the chat. Unk Shield. I'm curious. I don't know if I've seen you before. Gilda Gang, what's up? It's Mel. Oh, okay, cool. There we go. Finally catching the live. Good to see you. Good to see you. Rocky, hey Aries. Catch you at office hours. Got to take a certification class. All right, go do it. Do your thing. Yeah, and that's another thing. In the guild, see, there's 3 sessions that we schedule throughout the week. Office hours, which is on Mondays after the live. Practical practice, where we're going over one of the A's of practical magic, either Ascension, Ancestors, or Altars, okay? And then Shadow Work Saturdays. Every week, while class is in session, we're doing shadow work stuff, all right? We're going over it. And not just you sitting there listening to me talk. Listening to like-minded people. Isn't that what you want? People who are going through the same thing you're going through because you just don't know anybody around you who's doing it. Let me do this real quick. I need to zoom in for this because those of you who have absolutely no one to help you around you with this, I'm going to say you're in a bit better of a position to learn this information when it comes time. Anytime I see somebody who's got 1 or 2 people with them, it's a small spiritual circle jerk. Because they don't disagree with each other. No one has any space to disagree. You need people who could possibly disagree with what you're saying. You need it. Otherwise, you may as well just say whatever you want to say is it. But you won't admit that to yourself, because then you can't be humble. You need people who can possibly disagree. You need different ways to look at what you're saying. It is a monumental task to only have yourself and then do that effectively. Even I won't admit to that. That's the whole reason I started talking. It's not humble. You're not secretly a master in the shadows behind your fucking anonymity. You have to have challenge to what you say. Otherwise, you really should just be quiet. But see, they won't. Because they will feel really confident and need to talk. Need to get the validation from other places. You need to have people who are doing this work too. If the only people you ever talk to are motherfuckers who don't do this, dead motherfuckers, you're not going to do anything. you're not going to improve. What do? Fake it until you make it. And then you inevitably fake making it. I don't want you to fake it. I want you to face it. Face where you don't believe. Face where you could be wrong. That's what you need to do in your day-to-day life. Face where you may not understand what you feel you understand. What is a hand? 21 senses of the word. Let me guess, you thought of all 21 when I said hand. No, that's your problem. No one's hiding that from you, but you. What the fuck is you? Let me guess, just like hand, you automatically understood, right? Let me guess, someone's secretly hiding it from you, right? But you'll tell me some new sciencey, spooky sounding word. Let me guess, you understood that as much as you understood the word hand, you, and, of, it, this, that. But I'm the asshole, right? No, child, I'm a dick. Get it right. Anyways, epistemology, okay? We're still talking about fundamentals, all right? We haven't got to methodology yet. What is methodology? How? Method. Method. How? Because I really don't know where the line is between me being a dick and me not contending, not counting, not simply counting. What's the word? Having a contingency for where you may not understand. I don't know. Anytime I presume you motherfuckers can understand something, I'm baffled at how much I didn't understand that motherfucker didn't understand. And so I have to change what I'm doing, how I'm doing, the angle at which I come from. That is part of learning. Master students, my ass. Epistemology, okay? The in context of the at large we've talked about, okay? That's what the epistemology on your map is doing. Let's continue. And I keep this in the study material so anyone who's in the guild can keep it, download it, use it as much as you want. Ask questions. Don't care. Look, I looked up something different. In this example, I looked up Walmart. Still no you on the map. See, that's what I'm saying. When it comes to epistemology and ontology, there's no you. Physics, anatomy, biology, quantum physics. There's no you. It's all ontology and epistemology. There's no you in it. That's not because I'm saying it. It's made that way. And so if you're trying to frame a methodology in that shit, a spiritual, transcendent methodology, you're gonna fail every time. If the only metric you have is how much you feel good about it, bro, you could have fucking said anything. You could have put anything there and felt good about it and chose to feel good about it. There's no you at this level of analysis. Let me maximize it. Look at the map. It doesn't tell me where I am on the map. It doesn't tell me where I am on the map. It doesn't tell me where I'm going to go. And if it doesn't tell me where I am and where I'm going to go, it can't be telling me how to get there. There's plenty of information here. Look, let me go back a little. All right. Let me go back a little. Look. All right. Look up Goodwill. Right? There's plenty of information here. None of it has anything to do with you. It's not because I'm saying it. I'm giving you evidence. Places where you can see this every day of your day-to-day life. Look, there's no you. Look at all the information I can get. Look at all the information I can get. There's no you. Now what happens when we get to methodology? I hit directions. See the question mark? See the question mark over the little thing? It didn't know where I was at first. Then I told it. Now we can go. Now it knows, let me pause this. It knows where I am. It knows where I want to go. And by virtue of that, it can give me a variety of how to do something. It could not have told me how without knowing where I was and where I want to go. Period. Let me go back to the other map. Let's go back to the park map. Okay. Oh, no, I have to get out this widescreen. Duh. All right, let's go back to the park map. Okay. The map at the top. I'll even zoom in a little bit for you, okay? The map at the top. Let's zoom in extra close, okay? The map at the top. The at-large. The box. The green space. There's your ontology. What's the epistemology? Well, they make it very convenient. Everything you see in that key, see the key? It's got the trees, the bench, the slides, the seesaw, the sandbox, the swings, the flower gardens, the duck pond, and the path. These are what you will find in context of the at-large. But now, methodology. Where are you on the map? There isn't a you on the map. There isn't a you. Where are you going to go on the map? It's not there. So if there's no you, if there's no where you're going to go, there's no way you can get a how to do something from this map. This is why people can look at the chakras, learn all the names and the colors. This is why people can look at the tree of life, learn all the fancy Sanskrit names and what they represent. You can learn all the paths. You can say the word Kalipov. All right, this is why motherfuckers can look at the zodiac and not realize it's separate from astrology. See, astrology is actually a good example of how you take fundamentals and make a method. What is the zodiac? The 12-fold pattern. You take a circle and divide it in 12. Why would you divide it in 12? It's 3 times 4. See, the fundamentals. You can say 7 is a magic number. Why? I'm not disagreeing with you, but why? If you don't know why, then you're just repeating. And if you're not ready to contend with the possibility that your why could be wrong, it can't be right. You cannot win at a game that you do not give yourself the option of losing in. How do you get methodology? From a fundamental map, okay? A map that only has ontology and epistemology is a fundamental map. All it has is fundamentals. The zodiac is a fundamental map. Chakras are a fundamental map. How do you get methodology from a fundamental map? You overlay it on top. Methodology is overlaid on top of fundamentals. So you have to understand your fundamentals. I'm so sick of motherfuckers who wasn't good in school trying to teach niggas shit. God damn. It's the information age. Fuck. Look, the perfect example of this. A navigator out on the ocean. They bought a bunch of sea charts. Could any and everybody on the fucking boat have mapped out their course? No. The navigator could. Maybe the captain. Probably not. But the navigator could. Why? Because he was initiated in how to do it. I could not change the alternator on my car by myself. Why? I haven't been initiated in how to do that. You could show me every map of a car that you wanted. I don't know how to do it. I don't know what I'm looking at. But you know I can learn? Because I can admit to myself when I don't know something. It could all be so fucking simple. But you have to be willing to admit you don't know something. Grasping the fundamentals without you was my biggest hurdle in the first season. Team Tierra Blanco. Now when I research, I look for fundamentals first. Yes! 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 You have to look for fundamentals first. See, most people when they research this spiritual stuff, they're looking for methodology first. And it's ass backwards. Literally. It's literally ass backwards, which is why they conflate all these different pieces from one thing. For 1 second, they're talking to me about Kundalini. The next second, they're talking to me about the astral realm. Huh? Huh? Two different cosmologies. But they never know because they never even learn about fundamentals. You're not going to learn anything in those spiritual circle jerks. Random, but what's your opinion on the DNA and reincarnation? The DNA is biology again. DNA is biology. It's not spooky, spiritual, special. Remember, I'm not saying DNA isn't real. Well, it certainly is. But it's a way of framing the world that doesn't contain a you. Now, reincarnation is one particular view of cosmology. There's some cosmology that says there are no reincarnations. And I'm not saying whether or not you do or don't. Okay? Because when you bring up reincarnation, it's a reincarnation. So the prefix re means to do over something that's already been done. So the incarnation, it depends on what incarnation means in your cosmology. Because some people, when they take the idea of reincarnation, the only thing that's incarnating is one mind that just incarnates over and over and over again. There are other ideas of reincarnation where at the level of analysis of a single mind, that never incarnates. What incarnates is the type of mind that can reincarnate. So it's depending on the cosmology you're coming from. That's the key part. That's the key part. Aaron Barnes, good to see you in the chat. Who is Aaron Barnes? I don't know. Bro, all right there. Look, this is what I'm saying. You got to look for fundamentals first. And no one's teaching you guys to look for fundamentals. Most of the time, y'all are looking for them because you're so desperate to get away from something else. Well, how do I start using this in my day-to-day life? Why? Well, I don't want to have to be doing that anymore. No. So you can't run from something else to get into spirituality. You have to be running towards spirituality to get it. You have to. You have to understand the fundamentals that are being given to you to explain a methodology. That's what the process of initiation was doing. You would drill into their head the fundamentals. Martial arts. All right, let's say you're learning Kung Fu. You're going to learn the fundamentals until you're sick of it. They're going to make you do that stance, that form, that one punch 1,000 times a day. Why? Because you need to know the fundamentals forward and backwards before you can begin to be someone who can apply the information. That's basic understanding. Basic. But if you jump straight to, well, I know what Kundalini is, and then repeat something from a book, that's like somebody who watched a kung fu move once and said, well, I know how to do that. Bruh, like, and it's not because I'm saying it. I am saying it. It's not simply because I'm magnanimous. It's not simply because I'm prettier than you. I mean, maybe I am. Aries, you're bald. Bitch, but I wear it nice. What a dick. What was I fucking talking about? You have to challenge your understanding of the fundamentals. In the initiatory process, masters would challenge your understanding of the fundamentals. Show me your horse stance. Repeat form 4. Do it 3 more times. Your elbow was off. And you listen to the master. But see, most of y'all motherfuckers who want to skip initiation have issues with authority. You do the fake humble thing because you want to be like, okay, well, no one's better than anybody else. But it's fake humble because you think you're better than people who don't know this information. You put me on Black Phillip Show, Timeless Knowledge Tour. Good. Hell yeah. Get that shit. Please, man. Oh my God. All the young males, please fuck with the Black Phillip Show. I would say fuck with the Timeless Knowledge Tour because I actually give a tour of the show. Because the shit is funny and it goes by so quickly. Patrice and Dante Nero, they're spitting shit sometimes so quick, so fast. You have to listen to it a bunch of times before you get it. Newsflash, listen to it a bunch of times. That's what I did. That's why I can give you the tour. That's why I can take it and show you things. Motherfuckers will read a book one time and be like, I got it. Oh, look at me. I'm smart. Fuck what they said in school. I'm going to show you, teacher. No, you read it at 7th grade level. That's being nice. Fuck you, Aries. I read it at God level. Oh, God. You see how that's not saying anything? Oh, God. The bald and the beautiful head ass. You better tell him. Oh, my God. That's an insult. Aries, you're bald. Oh, God. Poor babies. All right. So what is ascension? All right. Regardless of what particular rite, order, religion you're coming from, okay? Regardless of which one, there's an essential work to be done, an essential transcending work. All right. This is what I'm calling ascension. It's a moving upward, a moving away from the mundane, from the apparent. In every single one. Niggas can say, there's levels to this. Okay. That's in there. All right. To distill the idea of what ascension is. All right. It's your awareness. Your awareness is your capacity to notice. That is what's changing. Your capacity to notice. Why do I say that? Because you want to tell me it's some kind of spooky oil, right? You want to tell me it's your melanin twisting with your DNA. God, that's so dumb. Look, what's changing is your capacity to notice. The world is perfect already. The world doesn't change. What changes is you. That's why I ask, what is you? That's what's changing. You'll have motherfuckers, they start learning about symbolism a little bit, right? And then all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, it's everywhere. Oh, I see it all over the place. Oh my God, these people must know. The world didn't change. You changed. Your capacity To notice is what changed. That is the fundamentals of what ascension is anywhere. Remember, what is you? Did you reduce it back to the body? Well, of course you're wrong. Oh, no, everyone's right, Arius. No one can be wrong. No. If that's the case, you shouldn't even change your mind at all. If everybody's right, you don't have to say shit to Christians. Matter of fact, you could have stayed a Christian, right? If everybody's right, then even if somebody's trying to mislead you, what they mislead you into is still right, because everybody's right. See, people say everybody's right to defend their bullshit. Everybody's right. It makes right mean nothing. What changes is your capacity to notice. Okay, your body may be affected by that. Sure, I won't tell you that's wrong. But if you limit your understanding of the change that's happening to molecules and particles, you missed it. You missed it. You missed it. It's not something because I'm saying so. It's a contradiction in your fundamental axioms. I'm more than my body. I'm ascending. I'm transcending this. But I have to keep defining my transcendence by the thing I claim to be transcending. How do you keep defining your transcendence by the thing you say you're transcending? You're transcending the physical body and the physical world, but you can't describe it beyond the body and the physical world. Only thing you can do is just, really, your toenail has a subtle spiritual essence. Really? No, it's the curl of your hair. It's the twist of the DNA molecule. It's the vibration of the melanin. It's the spooky oil in your spine. Luke 17:34 or 24. Neither shall I say lo here or lo there, for the kingdom of God is within. When you're doing the lo here or the lo there, it's the DNA. It's the grass on the hill. It's the baby in the womb. You're missing it, kid. You're missing it. Neither shall I say lo here or lo there. If you're going to say the pineal gland has a subtle spiritual effect, it's a subtle spiritual effect, it's arbitrary. Like, how can you say just that, right? Where are you making the distinction? Because we could say your little toe has a subtle spiritual effect. Neuromelanin. Anything with a complex nervous system has melanin because of neuromelanin. Anything with a complex nervous system has melanin. See, when people they don't understand the place where these words come from. They just grab it and run with it, like they did in Christianity. They find a few verses they like, grab it, and run with it. Actually studying what the fuck melanin is. Anything with a complex nervous system, including Europeans, has melanin. Etymology is important. Etymology is important. But you got to see when people look at etymology, sometimes what they do is they just look up old definitions. That's included in etymology. But what you also want to be looking at are the families of words. Words evolve in groups, in families, okay? And so you want to look at the transition of the family of words. Most of the Romance languages, English, Spanish, French, these come from Latin. And so etymologically, they're of Latin origin. And so you'll see groups of Latin words evolve into the words we use today in those languages. And so you want to check and track how those words are changing and evolving, and not just look up old definitions, because that's what some people do a lot of times. They look up an old definition, say the word etymology, and just feel really good. You got to check it. You got to check it. And I'm not saying to check it so I can make you look dumb or something. It's like, no. That way when you hear someone else doing it, you can check that. You can move it forward. That way the fucking body of knowledge means something. And it's not just anyone saying anything and feeling confident. Because look, when motherfuckers don't know how to make a point, they'll just try to insult you. I make points over and over and over again. And then I insult you. Most of the time I'm not insulting you. My God, guys. It's like some of those motherfuckers never been in a roast battle, bruh. Like some motherfuckers have never been embarrassed in front of people. And they're so averse to it, they're running from it. You gotta play to win and not play not to lose. You don't want to play not to lose. Losses are coming. Play to win. Play to win. Fuck. Alright, so ascension. Essentially, it's the expanding of your awareness or your capacity to notice. See, people will say, my awareness is unfolding and it's expanding. What does that mean? That means your capacity to notice is what's changing. Your capacity to notice what was already there, what was already perfect. Your capacity to notice it is what changes, okay? And of course, this is methodological. So I give you a new set of words to use for methodology. Oh yeah, that's a good, I gotta move some of these pictures around. This is a good one for the idea of going within, okay? If you look on the left, that beautiful face, that's Brandon. Identify with Brandon. Don't just be like, Brandon, fuck that nigga, he ugly. Well, come on. We're all a little ugly. Except me. God, piece of shit. You don't get the joke? God. Anyways. Alright. The circle and that rectangle. Both of them have the X in it, okay? This is talking about the physical body and the corresponding physical realm. Alright? Brandon's attention is focused on them. Brandon is focused on Brandon's body and the physical world. Alright? Now, on the left, this is default dead. Alright? For people like this is people who can't help but describe the world in physical terms. That's it. All they have is Western science. All right, Newtonian physics, biology, anatomy. They'll invoke the words, but they won't study the frameworks, okay? Going within, there's no step you have to take with your body. There's no upgrade your body needs. Because you're not that. You change. You change your attention. All right? And so the first step is comprehending the degree to which the non-physical and primordial exist in your now. Exist in your now. Look, spooky back oil, that's part of the physical body. DMT, melanin, DNA, neuromelanin, magnetosphere, physical body and physical realm. None of those are the answer. They necessarily cannot be if you're talking about transcending the physical realm. They necessarily cannot be. I'm not telling you the physical doesn't matter. One, you won't believe me. Two, it's ridiculous. Of course it matters. It exists. Fuck. Most of your entire conception of yourself is framed in it. I won't tell you it doesn't matter. What I'm going to tell you is you have to be able to see beyond it. Motherfuckers is quick to say I'm leaving the physical world and never coming back, but won't tell you what the distinction between physical and spiritual is. Everything's spiritual, then what does it even mean? We walk through these. We walk through these for 3 months. Who else does that for you? So not only do I have the sessions that are scheduled, you can talk about it whenever the fuck you want. Holla at me. I mean, we even just last week, just for the last few weeks, we'll have impromptu sessions. We'll jump right back into the voice chat and go through it. We'll be off topic like today. We do office hours. Office hours, you can talk about whatever the fuck you wanted to. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to show up. See, the schedule isn't so you have to show up. It's for me. I'm going to show up. I'll sit in that motherfucker for hours, even if nobody else shows up. Rarely ever happens. I'm trying to think of a time it did happen. Motherfuckers will be late. That's it, though. That's it. And that was like the first few weeks of the first session of the guild. That happened once. Maybe like an hour because they didn't check the schedule. They thought it was another thing. But even then, I'm sitting there and I'm filling up your audio recording. That way, even if you don't come to the session, you can review it yourself. It's your property. You can keep it, you can take it, you can do whatever the fuck you want to it. Don't care. It's yours. What I'm saying, bro. Like, this shit ain't secret. Look, 3 paths of ascension. All right? This is fundamental to understanding methodology. Let's go back to the video. All right. So we get to the place where we understand, okay, what is you? Where are you trying to go? All right? Boom. Once you have those, now a how question can be answered. All right, look, it showed me where I was at. Show me where I want to go. Okay, cool. Now it can tell me how to get there. Right? Now it can tell me how to get there. And look, okay, first, it gives me the example of taking the roads, using the car method, right? But you can also give me a walking example, which is going to be a different methodology. Same you, same destination, different method. There's me taking a taxi. There's if I want to take a bike. You look at the subway. If you look at the subway methodology, it almost looks foreign compared to the other methodologies. But it's the same thing. Don't be a dick. It's not the same thing. It's similar. Okay? Two things that are similar are not the same. It's in the name. All right, so when we're talking about the 3 paths of ascension, these are 3 fundamental angles of approach to the same directions. It's like the distinction between taking the expressway, walking, or taking the subway. In the Western tradition, they're known as the right-hand path, the left-hand path, and the middle path. Is it because I make it so? This is, like I said, I'm not telling y'all things that no one's ever said. What I'm doing with the Bookman model is giving you a model that fits contemporary people. That fits contemporary people. No one's doing that for you. Everyone's trying to give you an old model built for other people and tell you tapping in. What, I teach you the comedic shit, right? And now you tapping in? It wasn't made for you. You don't know crocodiles. You don't know hippos. The only thing you know about a lioness is run. Run away. What, nigga, you got the zoo book? You got the zoo book on lion, and now you tapping in. No. I'm not showing you Baphomet. What do you know about a goat? Nothing. I'm giving you things you can look up that are contemporary to you. Not words from another language. Words from your language. See, I don't choose these words arbitrarily. I look up what these words mean beforehand. Make an effort to make sure it fits. It's coherent. I'm not just going to say the word daemon and conflate it with demon. No. But it's really what it is because they were hiding. Who? Who can hide from you the entire majesty of reality? There's nowhere you can go and it's not in your face. You could be misdirected, but what does that tell you if you're able to be misdirected? That's an issue of your own understanding, your own capacity to notice. So we go through the different angles of approach to this work. Like I said, in the Western tradition, because people nowadays, especially if you know Christianity, you're coming from the Western tradition in some sense. But anyone else is teaching you this isn't teaching you that. They tell you the right-hand path is just organized religion. That's wrong. It's short-sighted. You can organize religion around the middle path and the left-hand path. People do it. Look at Ronald Noon and them with the Black Serpent clan. They're organizing something around the left-hand path. Travis Mages, he's cool with the middle path. They're organizing something around the middle path. See, it's not that right-hand path is organized religion. No, it's an angle of approach. But see, when all you do is repeat other people, that's what you'll do. Occult means hidden. No. I get why you say that. 2 reasons. 1, panic said it, and you're going to repeat it. 2, it's what everyone else is saying. Occult. Oc as in ocular, as in sight. Let me guess. When I said sight, what did you think? Eyeballs? Remember, the word hand. 21 senses of the word. Maybe you should contend or question your own idea of what sight is, what it means to see. No, you feel too confident about what you already think you know. I thought I was on the left-hand path and had zero details of the genius. Yeah, because most all anyone does is take the right-hand path and make it look spooky. They don't get into the dynamics, the necessity of understanding your fundamentals. They just tell you you're a vampire now. You just need to absorb and eat everybody. I want to go stomach for stomach with these motherfuckers. Please, just all mouth. These are 3 different angles of approach. And see, this is the beauty of those 3 different angles of the approach, right? Look there in the middle with the concentric circles. It's the same thing you're looking at fundamentally. But depending on the angle of approach is going to determine how you interact with it, how you perceive it. So it's not pick a path and you're right. It's not pick a path and stick with it your whole life. Like, that's stupid. Like, back to the... I'm saying the argument is stupid, not you're stupid. So you might be scared that you are stupid, and that's why that triggers you that way. The argument is stupid. I can't tell you whether or not you are. Oh no. Fucking babies. Yes, okay. Look. Same directions, right? Different angles of approaching the territory itself. All right? You can take the bike. You can catch a cab. All right? You can walk. The methodology looks different. Right-hand path, left-hand path, middle path. The methodology looks different. Even in Christianity, same fundamentals, same thing, same underlying epistemology and ontology. I'm not going to just say same thing. Same underlying epistemology and ontology. What changes? You can be a pastor. You can sit in the pews. You can hand out watchtowers. You can just sit at home and pray. You know, I say it could be so simple. The hardest part is contending with the idea that maybe you don't already know because you done spent too much time talking to other motherfuckers like you know. And so now you're going to look dumb, and that's terrifying. I'd much rather look dumb than be dumb. I'd much rather look dumb than be dumb. Motherfuckers think if you don't look dumb, then of course you're not dumb. Shallow, surface level. They're falling for the illusion. What is illusion? Appearance. Let me guess, you think illusion don't mean it's not real. No. No. See, the reason you could have called yourself left-hand path with no conception of fundamentals or dynamics is because that's what the groups would have done for you. Whatever group you was coming from, motherfuckers weren't gonna tell you it was wrong. They weren't gonna tell you that don't make sense. You're misapplying the fundamentals. I'm gonna tell you. Not because I want you to follow me. Fuck. I'm gonna fart. And it's gonna get in your mouth and it's gonna be nasty. You don't wanna follow me. Fuck. I give you bare bones so you can do what you say you wanna do. You wanna build your own reality. Okay, go ahead. See, your mama gonna tell you that nasty mud pie is pie. Gonna play with you like she eating it. Put that shit down and get your ass in the house. You wanna learn how to make pie? Let's go get you some actual ingredients. Let's go get you some actual ingredients. I know you're sad. You worked hard on your mud pie and you wanted my validation to tell you that shit was good, huh? Like your mama do. No. Nigga, you think this is cherry? Peach? Or this is blueberry pie, right? No. And if I sit here and I tell you it is, and you go out in the world and you serve that shit to motherfuckers, I'm gonna look bad. Not only are you gonna look dumb, awful, but they're gonna look past you like, who let you out the house thinking this was pie? You're gonna go to a pie competition and call everybody there a charlatan with your mud pie. That's what these circle jerks will let you do. You come in, you give them the money, and they will jack your dick from sun up till sunset. Check, fire, facts. Hey, y'all get in here too. Check, fire, facts. That's doing you a disservice. What, you and your 2 or 3 homies at home by yourself, pretending to read books? Fuck out of here. Farty Huggins head ass. Ugh, who's Farty Huggins? Ugh. Show Farty Huggies. Then get them diapers out of here. Get some actual drawers. Grow the fuck up. Motherfuckers really want their mud pie to be the good shit. Motherfuckers with no body of work want to feel confident. Motherfuckers who read books and interview other people, that's it. And tell you, repeat to you an old system. No. No. The only reason anyone's needs to be telling you or you need to be studying an old system is to understand how systems work. They're not telling you, oh, look, I read some Kaya. Now I know the truth. Now I know the real truth. No. Well, really, Jesus came from Horus. And so once you know Horus, you know the real truth. No. That's the same bad reasoning you had that had you thinking Jesus was the real truth. See, you didn't change how you think. You changed what you think. And that's the problem. That's the problem. That's not an issue of someone distracting you. That's not an issue of someone hiding something from you. That's not an issue of you not knowing the secret. You have to change how you think. Philosophy. Thinking about your thinking. You have to change how you think, which is why I point you back to what is you. You can tell me, I had Oshun and we danced in the waters of noon. Stupid. My ancestors fucked with me. Well, my DNA turns up, and when it does, my ascension lights up everybody in the darkness. Look, I won't even tell you you're wrong. What I'm going to ask is, what is you? Because if you can invoke yourself to tell me the cool thing you did, I'm curious, what constitutes the category for self? I'm a big kid now with my pillows. Motherfuckers don't got balls to question who they watch. They don't question who they watch. They don't question themselves, unless, of course, it's a Christian. Because they've fallen into tribalism. They've fallen into tribalism. They found a new tribe. Y'all, my soul tribe. They found a new tribe and don't even contend with what the word soul means. They like the feeling of tribe. They put a spooky glaze on it, like a Krispy Kreme donut, a Halloween Krispy Kreme donut, and out here telling niggas they got the good shit. Look, they do the fake humble, so they don't tell niggas they got the good shit. They give out bullshit little hints and then say, if you know, you know. And then a motherfucker who actually don't know can't admit to themselves they don't know because they won't fit in with the group. But I don't know what he's saying. But if I don't know, I don't know. Oh, God. Say check, fire, and facts. That way, they don't know, I don't know. Ha! We're on the same team. Those dead niggers. Ha, 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 ha. No. It's the same bullshit you came out of. I don't care if you color Jesus chocolate. I don't care if you name him Horus and call it a falcon, right? Don't change what you think. You have to change how you think. That's where the personal day-to-day work begins. That's where the personal day-to-day work begins. After you've framed out what your fundamentals are, what fundamentals you're using, if you're still having trouble with methodology at that point, it's not a problem. We can build methodology from the fundamentals. But if you've never examined your fundamentals, if you've never contended with what you actually believe, it's for nothing. It's for nothing. I like to be solo and not of a community. That's impossible. It's impossible. You're watching me. Too late. You've read someone's book. Too late. You can't. It's impossible. Got to be patient with your own growth. Yeah, give yourself. There's nothing to be proud of having to do it yourself with no one to help. It sucks. And you have to work 5 times as fucking hard to understand. You don't want to have to do that. You don't. So don't lie to yourself and tell yourself you're doing it by yourself. You're reading people's book, you're watching folks' videos. You don't grow all your own food. Nope. How did water get to you? Community. How did electricity get to you that you're using for right now? Community. Don't deny it. Don't deny it. Understand its necessity. Understand its necessity. I'm telling you, man. Because look, it'll help you build your social skills too. Because a lot of times some people, they don't like to be around anybody because they're like, okay, well, other people trigger me. Well, everyone? Like, that's got to be a you problem. But before you can fix that, you have to contend with it. I'm telling you, man. That last shadow work stuff, I'm so serious. And then, okay, what's shadow work? What's shadow work? Because once again, I go through all this stuff with people. Yeah, let's get out of this one. That's the essential one. Let's take this all the way back to the top. Okay. Here. Let me make sure I can see what I'm seeing. Always been shy. Hey, man, get out there, fuck around and find out, bro. Look, man, because look, here's the best piece of advice I can give you. Because I remember when I realized no one was paying attention. And to the degree to which they were paying attention, they were so concerned about themselves, not appearing weird, not appearing strange. They were so turned in on themselves that no matter what I did, almost nobody would even do anything. Like I remember, bro. It was so funny because in Atlanta we got the MARTA. That's the train system, right? This is back when I was starting, right? I'm riding the train, got my headphones on. I'm thinking, I'm looking around. I'm looking at the people, right? I'm like, Like, everybody was focused on their own thing. Nobody's looking, right? So I took a piece of paper and just threw it. And just watched. See who looked at anything. Now, everybody was on the train. One person looked at me, and then just went back to doing what they were doing. I was like, does nobody care? Then I would start dancing in the train station. And anyone who actually noticed me tried their best not to look like they were noticing me, because they didn't want to be associated with me. I was like, hold on, I'm over here free, and y'all are trapped in yourself? Press stop. Do you. Be you. But be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. That's the shadow work stuff, bro. See, here we go. Let me jump into it. Because remember, every month, I always start from the same place. We always go right back through the same line of reasoning so that you don't think I'm telling you something disconnected from everything else I've been saying. All right, what's the essential when we're talking about shadow work? All right, once again, it's back to your own awareness, okay? Honest about your own awareness. Honest with yourself about what you think, what you see, what you believe. Getting out of your own way. See, for the people who can't be honest with themselves about the fact that they've only learned this stuff in these spiritual circle jerks where nobody disagrees with them, where they can't be honest about the fact that they don't understand, it's shadow work. It's shadow work. Like, motherfuckers will say, you're trying to sound smart. How do you sound smart? Using words people don't understand. I look up the words with you. It's the information age. You can look up the word. What word am I using wrong? What word am I using that that doesn't even make sense? Please, we can talk about it so I can change the word. Why? I even update the models. Why? Because I want it to be as efficient and coherent as possible. Not for it to look the best. Fuck! When I go down the road to make sure it's coherent and efficient as possible, the result is that it looks the best. I know, babies. I'm sorry. See, I didn't get mad. Babies. Once again, it goes back to your awareness. Learning to be honest with yourself about yourself. Learning to be honest with yourself about yourself. Not switching the way you frame the world so that it feels better. Not switching and framing the world around so it feels better. Being able to look at it, even if it feels awful. Even if you gotta walk back all the shit you was talking. I remember Bobby Hemmings was saying, he got to a place where he's looking at this information and he's like, look, I want to know where this goes. No matter where I end up. Even if I gotta go back to Jesus. I want to know. You got to want to know that desperately. That's why I have no problem explaining this shit in terms of Christianity. Oh no, Aaron Islam, I look like a Christian. So? Fuck, I care what I look like. What the fuck am I? You know what I'm saying? What is you? Why do you care what people think about you? For motherfuckers who don't think. I don't care if you boo at me. I've seen what makes you cheer. Please boo me. Fuck you mean. See, truth don't need nobody to protect it, to validate it. No shoulda, woulda, or coulda. What is. Ain't no shoulda, woulda, or coulda. But see, motherfuckers can't live like that. It's scary. And understandably. Okay, wonderful, fine. But courage is not having no fear. Fear has its utility. It's got its place. Courage is your willingness to face it. Not sit behind a veil of anonymity and throw weak shots. Aries, you're bald. Those poor babies. But look, somebody got to tell y'all niggas that mud pie is mud. That mud pie, even if you put the word pie at the end, is mud. Now we can get you to a place where you're making some cherry, peach, blueberry, some apple pie. We can get you there. It's not a problem. There's no secret to it. But you can't sit here and tell folk that mud pie is pie. Look here, that's mud. That's mud. And it's okay that it's mud, but if you want to get to pie, you're going to have to put down the mud. See, it's easy to look back and tell a Christian, that's mud. It's easy to look at somebody who don't do no spiritual work and tell them, you need to do some spiritual work. But they don't do it. Of course not. That's not what they do. If you run track, you don't need to tell motherfuckers who don't run that they need to run. They don't run. It's like a fish telling a monkey it need to swim. Or a monkey telling a fish it need to climb. But don't do that. That's not what it's here to do. If you really believe what you say, if you really here to run the race, come run it. Come compare yourself to a motherfucker to run the race. But if you're just going to say everybody's equal, everybody's the same, and everyone needs to be more humble, I mean, bro, have you looked at that yourself? How humble are you? I mean, really don't. He says, look, talk is cheap. You can say whatever you want to. That's why I stopped just saying stuff. I got plenty of evidence. I got plenty of maps, diagrams. Been doing it for years. Most times when I challenge somebody, I'm the first person who's ever challenged them. Any other time, they say whatever the fuck they got to say, and nobody challenges them. Check, fire, facts, we tapping in. That's all they get. Nothing grows that way. Nothing grows that way. So you have to be honest with yourself. That's what shadow work is doing. And bruh, it's not something you do and you're done. You never have to stop wiping your own ass. Regardless of how clean and shiny you got that shit yesterday. You're going to have to wipe it again the next day. And the next day. And the next day. And look here. That shit ain't going to start smelling good. It's always going to be shit. See, you don't do shadow work so that you don't have anything to work on anymore. Just like you don't wipe your ass so that you never have shit on your butt again. It's going to be there the next day. It's going to smell just as bad. Come out the same way it came. That's what shadow work is like. It don't end. But you have to know how to do it. You have to know, and you just tell yourself you know in a room full of everybody who's just going to agree. That's all you're going to get. Shadow work is something you're going to be doing on a daily basis. All right, this is one of those practices. But, and this is part of the reason I give you fundamentals with the Bookman model. Because if you don't understand the fundamentals, you're not going to understand the methodology. All right? You go ahead, y'all do comedic whatever you want to do. It's good, bro. You tell me chakras, kundalini, whatever you want to do. All right. We go through these different things. Like here, I'm gonna do this one real quick. This is real easy. It's real simple. Because once again, I can give you all the secrets I got. Because they ain't secret. One thing people miss with shadow work is personality and shadow are two sides of the same coin to a certain degree. Meaning, as much as it's a work on your shadow, it's a work on your personality as well. That's the part people really miss. They just think, oh, shadow bad. Shadow bad. No. They go hand in hand, okay? So if we're looking at this sphere on the table, right? The light that's shining on it is the light of your awareness, okay? We'll say that's the awareness. We've been talking about the awareness from ascension, over to shadow work. We're always talking about your awareness, all right? That's the only thing I can't strip from you. That's the only thing I can't strip from you. That awareness is what it say, I am that I am. I'm me. I'm me. I'm me. Because it can be so simple. You just listen to yourself, but you don't want to, but you want other people to listen to you. When's the next session for the guild? And you know what platform you're going to use? Yeah, I'm using the Guilded app. The next one comes around at the end of June, and the beginning of July. Here, let me show you the calendar real quick before I go back into this. You should be able to click the link in the bottom. There's a place called Details. It should take you right to the details. Here's the calendar, okay? It's real easy. The green part is the welcome week. This is when the doors are open. This is when you're available to come in. Because I don't take people all year. Because there's a system. There's a path we're going to walk down. It's not just give me your money and take this folder of information. No. We have a program we're going to go through. And you're going to go through it with other people. Not just you. So the next one is June 30th through July 6th. Okay? And look, I got all the details on how all this stuff works. It's real simple. Yeah, it's real simple. Okay, I thought you were changing since the Roblox thing. No. Because look, even before I set this up, they were already partnered with Roblox. Roblox had already bought them. They're just integrating the systems together, like fully. I'm telling you, man, motherfuckers don't understand. Shit's about to change. Shit's changing. Y'all thought we was going digital before, but stop. Anyways, okay, so when we're looking at personality, right? Think of the sphere as your conception of yourself, okay? Think of the sphere as your conception of yourself. The light of awareness is viewing your conception of yourself. The side of the sphere that is illuminated is what you consider your personality. The side of the sphere that lacks illumination is what you consider your shadow. This is a basic understanding of the dynamic. The reason I point this out is so I can take you to the next place, because this is much more intuitive of the actual experience you'll have, okay? So it's not just this simple light looking at a sphere. Yes, that's the basic fundamentals, but more so to the point of what you're going to be experiencing is more like this light in that sphere, where that sphere has texture. It has an atmosphere. There's an ecosystem. Okay? There are so many different things to come between the light of your awareness and the surface of the sphere. There's so many places where a shadow is cast. There's so many places where light is illuminated in certain ways. All right? So you take this sphere, give it texture, give it an atmosphere, give it an ecosystem, all of which are changing and shifting. That's going to be more like your experience of it. Okay? That's part of why I say personality and shadow are not singular things, even in and of themselves. There are categories. There are different personalities you use and experience. Shadow is not a singular thing. All right? Once again, no one else is telling you about this shit. And I'm sorry that, once you've watched my shit, you can't watch anybody else because it's obvious they're bullshit. Mm. Yeah, we talk about shadow work, okay? Because remember, the goal isn't to get rid of the shadow, it's to alter your relationship to it. It's to alter its influence on the larger scale, okay? Look here, in image B, all right? There's more shadow. Why? Because the angle that light of the awareness is coming from is not upright. It's from the side. See, this is when you reframe a situation so that it hits a little softer, so that it feels a little better. What you're doing is you're not only coming at the scenario less than honest, less than upright, you're giving that shadow more influence in the scenario. When you learn to consistently be upright in your viewing and perception of yourself, there's less influence of that shadow. See, in image A, what happens? The shadow gets smaller. Why? Because the angle that you're viewing it from is more upright. That's the honesty. That's the willingness to contend with where you can be wrong. That's why I will look up the words I use. Not just to show you, especially if it's a word I know I haven't looked up in a while. I know I've never looked up. Look it up. Right there. On live. So we can look. We can see. The motherfuckers won't do that. They'll tell you to go research and do no research. So when you're looking at yourself, remember what else is there, right? I'm everything. Oh. Do you really believe that? No, it's motivation. But let's say you believe it. If there's only thing there is you, yourself, how are you looking at yourself? How honest can you be? And if y'all ain't even willing to look dumb, I know you're not honest. The world of things you cannot know is so much larger than any possible collection of knowledge you can have. I'm always dumb. I'm an idiot. And the reason I can learn is because I can admit where I don't know something. I'm not going to fake humble you. Fuck. I don't need to be no spooky Jesus. I don't need to have you on my team to get it. See, just because you go through my program, and look, I could lose money for it. Just because you go through my program and you pay me the money, don't mean you just get it. Now you got the secrets that other folks don't. No. Remember, I'm not peddling you information. I can give you this shit week after week. But I know you won't get it. Because I know the hurdles you're going to trip over. Not because something is specifically wrong with you, although there probably is. There are hurdles that everyone is going to fall over. Like in the Matrix with Neo doing the first jump. Everyone misses the first jump. Everyone misses it. You trying to beat a motherfucker? Okay, Neo. All right. He told me I'm the one. Here I go. I'm not gonna tell you you're the one. You motherfucker, you gonna miss. It's not because I'm making fun of you. I'm gonna laugh, but I laugh at everything. Fuck. I'm not gonna tell you you're gonna be better than niggas who don't know this. There's a method to the madness, bro. There's a method to the madness, and it's beyond your confidence. So it is less shadow or shadow integrated, less bullshit or proper perspective. More proper perspective. More proper perspective. See, the idea of shadow integration comes from Carl Jung. I'm not telling you need to integrate the shadow. I'm really not. Okay? I don't like that terminology. That's why I put it there and with the question mark. Because I even talk about this in the class. I don't like the idea of shadow integration. Because Carl Jung wasn't an occultist. Like, this is what I mean. Like, the cosmology he's invoking when he says that is what people want to look at. They want to understand what he was talking about. What I'm talking about with shadow work isn't exactly the same thing as Carl Jung is talking about. It isn't. Carl Jung did not create the word shadow. We're talking about what a shadow does, the dynamic, the function. That's the point of using the word. Yeah, so I don't like the idea of integration. Lucid Bay, good to see you in the chat, man. I see you in a minute. Oh shit, what y'all doing in here? Little methodology? Better there ain't no circle joking going on. Look, man, look. My hand gonna dry. I ain't got nothing for you. You don't want this hand. You don't want this hand. Matter of fact, where my sandpaper at? Fuck you, me. Oh shit, yeah, man, it's a little methodology. And see, this is what everybody's interested in. How to do it, how to make it part of my daily life. Okay, cool, but what constitutes the category of your daily life? How are you framing that? Oh, there's too many questions areas. And they got the chat palm, look, skin cracking and everything. Scratch the integration. Because I think the idea of integration gets people so focused on the shadow and they forget personality. They just assume personality is something that doesn't need work. What I need to do is integrate the shadow into the personality, and that makes the personality good. The presuppositions have already messed up. Personality good, shadow bad. At the same time, they'll tell you there's no good and bad. No. They're two sides of the same coin. You cannot get rid of them. You'll always have both of them. They do need to interoperate. There's an interplay between them. But look, there are some things that will always be in the shadow. Like this, for instance, okay? To the degree to which, from a personality sense, I see myself as a male. The female parts are always going to be in there. To the degree to which I see myself as an adult and not a child, the child parts are always going to go in there. It's not because they're bad. See, the two are defining each other. Sometimes they contain each other in certain respects. Okay? Like, there are things what I would say is there are things you distill out of the shadow. Okay? And only because you want to be able to see them. Like, in order to see myself as male, I have to throw away some of the female stuff. Not throw it away as in get rid of it, as in not see it. Like, what we see is defined by what we don't see. There's no seeing everything. Otherwise, you're not seeing anymore. Once again, I said, what does it mean to see? It's not just eyeball. The process the eyeball does is named after the concept. Like the planet Earth is named after the concept. Like the fruit orange is named after the color. Yes, you need both. You're not going to not have them. You're not going to not have them. They're not going anywhere. You're always going to have them working with the physical world, especially working with the physical world. Maybe after you don't have a physical body, probably still a bunch of influence from it, because more than likely, that's what you consider me. It's me. It's me. Here, let me show you this one more thing before I knock y'all out. Here. This is a basic methodological map. Because remember, we have the fundamental maps and the methodological maps. How do you know it's a methodological map? Well, like we said, methodology is overlaid on top of the fundamentals. So, looking at the map, by virtue of the colors, you can see the fundamentals. And this methodology is overlaid on top of those fundamentals. Could be simple. Also, another way you can tell is you see Brandon's lovely face. He's beautiful, isn't he? Fucking Brandon. But anyways, the idea of me is connected to this you for most people's methodology. And so even if they don't have the physical body, their idea of themselves is tied up in that me. And that me is personality and shadow. That personality shadow dynamic where it can look like two, but it's really one thing. That me, if you consider that yourself, then yeah, it's going to stick around. It can be simple. I thought about my nickname Seymour and realized the name indicated that I see less. And I almost ignored that part. Where I was thinking about that shit, but I didn't want to throw it at you when we was in the guild. I'm like, Seymour. Nah, that might not be a thing. But I like that shit. I'm glad you saw that shit too. Because I don't feel crazy for it. Anyways, and I almost always ignored that part, which I later on defined as my ignorance. Ignorance is necessary. Ignorance is necessary. Like, oh my God. That's why I don't mind looking dumb. I don't mind looking like the idiot. I don't mind looking like a dunce. Ignorance is necessary. There's a part of ignorance that you have to get to that's inevitable. You have necessary, willful, and inevitable. Well, he's just saying words. It's going to make him sound smart. Whatever, it's so dumb. If I'm going to build something, I may need a wrecking ball to destroy what was previously there. Yeah. Sometimes if you got a whole bunch, but it could. I like to take the process smoothly, like pruning back a tree. You ever seen those motherfuckers prune a bonsai? You know, if motherfuckers don't know what they're doing, they hack at it. But when you take the time and you care about what you're constructing, it's small, it's subtle, it's focused. You're focused on the details, the texture, the contour, the context. So yeah, you can go with a wrecking ball, but you don't have to. I would more also recommend the pruning. All hail Brandon, right? Look, be nice to Brandon. Be nice to Brandon. Because look, this is what motherfuckers will do. And this is the subtle, fake, humble shit. They're like, nah, secretly I'm better than Brandon. No. Tap into your inner Brandon. Be okay with the part of yourself that don't get what the fuck he's doing. Because look, if you got it and you're not honest with yourself that you do, shadow work. Come on. It's just gonna go right in that category. And personality, shadow, genius, these are categories. They're not singular things. And so it's gonna go right there in that category. Just like the degree to which I look at myself as an adult, what ends up in that category is a part of myself, but I'm still a fucking child. And always will be. And if I'm not willing to look at it, especially if I'm fearful of looking at it. So those are two different things. Not wanting to look at it or not knowing it's there or being afraid of it. See, fear is what fucks things up. That's why I say the whole shadow bad thing. Your fear is what fucks things up. See, pride has utility. But when you're in pride, because of fear, it's twisted and contorted. You have to be able to recognize your fear. If there's smoke, there's fire. If there's fear, there's shadow. And it's not to say you never want shadow. It's like, who said you never want fire? Yeah, you want fire sometimes. Fuck. It has its place. It has its utility. But people who try to be beyond all limitations, they miss that. The first thing you have to do is look at your fundamentals. What constitutes your categories? When you say my day-to-day life, my personal experience, what are you building that with? When I ask, it isn't because there's a right answer. It's that whatever answer sits there is what you're using. And I'll tell you right now, physics, biology, quantum physics, these are cosmological bleach. They are cosmological bleach. They do not support a narrative continuity. They do not support a narrative continuity, which means you're not going to get anything spiritual out of them. Ever. They're made not to do it. The same way you're not going to grow bacteria in bleach. It's made not to do that. All right, that's it for me today, guys. That's it for me. Once again, man, ask questions. You walk into the room and, fake humble, you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to get anywhere. But I mean, hey, it's up to you. Do what you do. I can recognize fear. That's all right, kiddo. All right, you guys. Have an outstanding day. For those in the guild, I'll see you at office hours at 3 Eastern Standard Time.